Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Moonmist and we are going to be continuing to play Higurashi. So let us go ahead and begin. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. Oh, tap, tap, tap. Oh. The sound of muffled footsteps stepped in front of the door into my room. Oh. A moment of silence as if whom they belonged to was ascending if it was inside. Of all things I should have been doing, I continued on with my relentless slumber. I was very much conscious, but my body hadn't caught up yet, even with the danger bearing down on me from beyond the door. It was as if I was completely paralyzed, unable to move. Without a doubt, this was sheer terror. Please, just leave. Hey, why is my body awake yet? If they come into my room right now, then... Oh. Are you okay, KG? Oh. Let's make sure the game audio... Okay, yeah, just gotta double check for the game audio. But yeah, looks like everything's good. Yeah, hopefully KG's okay. Right? Huh? I sprung to my feet and threw my covers at my mom, who was opening the door. Whoa.
Nani, Keiichi?
Keiichi?
どうしたの?
Well, what's the matter? Sorry.
寝ぼけてた。
I was still half asleep. I thought it was 1 or 2 a.m. But the morning sun was already streaming through the gaps between the curtains. It felt nothing like morning. Yesterday, I must have fallen asleep right after that. Then I should have gone 10 hours of rest. But it didn't feel like that at all. To be honest, for me anyway, no matter how much I sleep, I still don't feel rested for all the time. Like I could sleep for 10 hours, still sleepy. I could sleep for 8 hours, still sleepy. Sleep for 4 hours, of course I'll be sleepy. Yeah, no matter how much I sleep, I always feel restless. I don't know why. I feel like sometimes I need to sleep like almost like a whole day. Maybe. But even then I probably still will be restless. I don't know what's wrong with me. To be honest, I think, like I mentioned yesterday's stream, it might have to do with my dreams. I think they use too much of my energy. That's why I don't sleep that well. Maybe. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. My internal clock was completely screwed up and my sense of balance felt off. I felt feverish enough that it was clear to me that I was still not well.
どう、Keiichi?
Well, Keiichi,
体の調子はどう?
how are we feeling?
学校行けそう?
Can you make it to school? I felt far from well enough. I wasn't mentally fit to go. I was still plagued with the terror from yesterday. If I had swallowed that needle, what would have happened? Or if I just pierced my tongue? There was undoubtedly a murderous intent, but I don't think that was all that it was. If they really wanted to kill me, then there were other, more certain ways to do it. They wouldn't resort to such dubious methods as having me swallow a needle. Meaning, I didn't want to believe it, but going that far was just a threat from Ren and Mion. Aren't you glad that you didn't die? But next time, will you be more assured? We'll use a more assured method. Like that. Something like that. Well, sending a letter with a razor inside that would have been a joke compared to this.
ちゃんと病院は行った?
Did you make it to the hospital?
お薬は飲んだの?
Did you take your medicine?
まあ一応。
Yeah, kind of. Something about my mom's dubious gaze bothered me. She seemed more concerned about her son's missing 2 days of school rather than being sick. It was definitely mental fatigue. I wasn't really physically ill.
一度生活のリズムを崩すとなかなか戻らないんだから.
It'll be hard for you to get back to track once your daily routine is thrown off.
さら、起きて。
Come on, get up.
病は気からって言うのよ.
They say wellness is a state of mind. I heard that line many times before. I was given an award in elementary school for having a perfect attendance, but it wasn't like I was healthier than anyone. Oh wow, same. I got a perfect attendance award too during 8th grade. So yeah, I guess I never missed school, but still, kind of weird that I was voted worst.
Thanks for the
Oh hey,
welcome, D3K17.
hey D3, how you doing? How you doing?
Maple, the bear magical girl, appreciates
Hope you're having a wonderful night.
Together,
Hopefully
we
you also
create
had a wonderful
magical
day.
moments in our stream.
Yeah, I was
Let's
saying.
embark on this enchanting journey together.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Maple. Thank you. But yeah, I was saying we're here from Quakey. He got apparently a perfect attendance award. I was saying that I also got a perfect attendance award when I was in 8th grade. I don't know why, but I guess I never missed school. But then still, don't know why. Out of everyone in my 8th grade, I got perfect attendance award. I even still have the little statue thing in my living room. I don't know why. It's still there. Yeah, hopefully you're having a wonderful night.
ささ、
Anyway,
顔洗ってらっしゃい。
come on, go wash your face.
ご飯はもうできてるわよ。
Breakfast is already ready.
もうレナちゃんが来るまであんまり時間がないわよ。
There isn't much time before Rena-chan comes to get you. Mom's tone meant that I couldn't argue about it, so I had to give up on skipping a second day.
そうそう。今の壁にボタモチを投げつけたのはケイチ？
By the way, were you the one who got bean paste all over the living room wall, Keiichi?
ダメよ、あんなことしちゃ。
You shouldn't do something like that.
お父さん、怒ってたわよ。
Your father was quite angry. Well, Mom, if you knew what was happening with the thing, you would have done the same thing. I didn't feel practically guilty of doing it, so I didn't have much of a reaction. You're doing well? That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well too. Thank you. But yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Also, my mom didn't question me any further about it. She headed back downstairs as after she was certain I was getting up. What Mion said as she left yesterday, I hate if you miss school tomorrow, came back and dwelled in the back of my mind. What did she mean by that? I didn't have to really think about it. She was saying, don't be absent. Thinking that a bit further, it was a shame. Same as her saying I should just go about living my life as nothing has happened. If I showed any signs of acting unusual, it would probably result in them making their move. If I acted differently, someone like Osho-san, for example, might end up noticing that something is up. Meaning if I don't watch my mouth or did anything different from the norm, in effect, it would end up communicating something to those who were undesirable. It seems that it was something that the girls did not intend to forgive. So, if I just went along as normal, no harm would come to me. Was that how it was going to be? At the misery I experienced up until yesterday would almost creepily, I faded away. It was just an enticing deal. Just by forgetting everything I've seen, heard for the last few days, I was able to keep living like normal.
そんな虫のいい話あるわけ？
There's no way such a selfish thing could. I swallowed hard. I once again debilitate? Oh geez, I can't speak sometimes. On the idea that I had just rejected. Mion was probably a good person who had her friends at heart. She was just giving me, who had mistakenly broken some rules of theirs, a chance. All was what I did really something so unforgivable? But Mion had given me another chance. She was saying, if I should forget everything and keep living like I had been, I'd be forgiven. Keiichi!
ご飯冷めちゃうわよ。
Your food is getting cold.
急いで降りてらっしゃい。
Hurry up and get down here.
早くしないとレナちゃんが来ちゃうわよ。
Rena will be here if you don't hurry.
今行くよ。
Yeah, I'm coming. I crammed my textbook into my bag and hastily made my way downstairs. I picked at my somewhat bland breakfast. It seemed that I didn't have much time. I was already past when I usually met up with Rena. Given yesterday's events, she'd probably be there in 5 minutes. I needed to be ready to head to school by then. I had to forget everything that had happened happened the past 2 days. Forget all and return to my normal life. For this to be normal, I have to be where I normally met up with Rena. Today of all days, the rice was dry and had to get down. Uh-oh, I think Rena's here. Ding dong. I jumped at the sound and dropped my chopsticks. The chime signaled that Rena has arrived. Mom hurried me along.
ほら、レナちゃん来ちゃったわよ。
Come on, Rena-chan's already here.
急いで急いで。
Hurry, hurry. My mom's merely smile and my gloomy face was the polar opposites. Okay, hopefully Rena's okay. She's not gonna do anything creepy, right? Honestly, I was reluctant to see Rena, who was waiting there on the other side of the door. The Rena on the other side. Was it the Rena I knew? I couldn't keep her waiting. I needed to do things as usual. Okay, so far seems normal. Morning. I invariably greeted, filtered in front of across the doorway.
ケイチ君、遅かったから来てみたけど、今日はどうかな？かな？
I came since Keiichi was a bit late. Will he be okay today? I wonder. The manner in which Rena was concerned was without a doubt the Rena I knew. But there's the possibility if I reciprocated, forget everything from yesterday and pretend as though nothing had happened. Forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Forget about the mysterious deaths that happened the following years. Forget about the people falling to their death, the terminal illness and the suicide, the fatal beatings and the disappearance. Forget it. Forget it all. Forget that Rena and Moon were scary. Of course. Forget it all. Forget all about it. Forget about the mochi too. Forget. What happened yesterday? I don't know. I forgot. Rena once again asked me to be... I think I can't speak. I guess I did forget about stuff. I think a little too much. Rena once again asked to make sure...
学校行けそう？
Can you make it to school?
大丈夫だよ。
Yeah, I'm fine.
よかった。
Great.
じゃあ行こう。みーちゃん待ってるよ。
Let's go. Mi-chan's waiting. Rena showed me her usual bright smile. I couldn't find a hint of deceit in her expression. My nervousness dissipated, giving way to relief. Okay, well, everything's pretty good so far.
なのにさとこちゃんね、絶対にできるって意地になっちゃって。
But you see, Satoko-chan was so hesitant that she could do it. Insistent. As we walked, Ren talked about all different stuff, more than usual.
それで
Then?
さとこちゃん不吉祥だから何度やってもできないの。はかいかったんだよ。
Satoko is clumsy. Satoko is clumsy. So she failed no matter how many tries she tried. Oh, she's so cute. Everything Ren talked about was just silly nonsense, so I just replied every so often and laughed from time to time. It was rather laid-back conversation. Oh. That's good, at the very least. We passed by one of our neighbors and they called out to us.
ケイチちゃんにレナちゃん。今日はちょっと遅いんじゃないの？
Oh my, Keiichi and Rena-chan, aren't you two a bit late today?
ミオンちゃん、先に行くって言ってたわよ。
Mion said that she was going up ahead.
みーちゃん怒ってるかな？
Oh, did Mi-chan look mad? I wonder.
怒ってるかな？
I wonder.
早く行こう、ケイチ君。
We need to hurry up, Keiichi-kun. After greeting our neighbor with a smile, Rena turned back to me and poked her tongue out. Not expecting that, I couldn't help but crack a smile.
ケイチくん笑った
Aw. Aw. Keiichi-kun smiled.
なんだよ。
Huh? What? Rena stopped and stared at me.
ケイチくん、今朝もなんか元気なかったから、まだ風邪が治らないのかなって思ってたけど、大丈夫みたいだね。だね。
I was thinking that you still haven't recovered from your cold yesterday. You seemed down this morning, Keiichi-kun. But you seem fine. Fine. With a grin, she gently poked my cheek. It was a bright, sincere smile. Hey, Keiichi Marbara. How can you still doubt Rena after she showed you a smile like that? Maybe I just had a high fever up until today, and I imagined everything that had happened, because I was bedridden and delirious. I really hope that was the case. If God would grant me just one wish, there's only one thing that I wish for. I would want what happened in the past few days. More specifically, from the night of Onikakushi up until last night, I want all of that to never have happened. I wonder how many times I wished for that these past few days. As long as Rena kept on smiling like this, I think it might just become reality. So I wanted Rena to keep on smiling. Keep on smiling.
で、ケイチくん、
So, Keiichi-kun.
昨日のおはぎ、ちゃんと食べてくれた
So, Keiichi-kun, those mochis yesterday, did you eat them all? The vain wish of mine was instantly shattered. My heart began palpitating. The relaxing morning mood suddenly became frigid. Rena's smile was the same as usual. Her eyes were gentle as usual. Those mochi yesterday, did you eat them all? Of course she wasn't asking the question at face value. In other words, Rena was asking, did you get the message? She was probably trying to convey that. Okay.
ケイチくん
Keiichi-kun? I was reluctant to give her an answer. Rena stopped walking and stared deeply into my eyes. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate, Keiichi, my bra. Rena was acting the same as usual, wasn't she? I needed to respond in my usual way. Naturally, of course. Both my throat and mouth have gone dry. My lips were stuck together. Hurry, answer, Keiichi. Not much time has passed. I still could keep the conversation going naturally. I had to say something quickly. Dear.
おー
Dear? Rena playfully mimicked what I said when I finally squeaked something out. Rena's reaction was still normal. It seems that there wasn't as long of a pause that I had thought. Somehow I finally squeaked out the rest.
うまかった。
Delicious. However, my strained efforts neither sullied or brightened Rena's expression. For a moment, I panicked, thinking I had replied incorrectly. But after a few moments, Rena broke into her usual soft smile and giggled with a joyful voice that seemed to echo through the morning air. Being stung along by that laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well.
そうなんだ。
I see. Yeah.
で、全部食べたのかな
Yeah.
な
Very delicious, yeah. I didn't throw them away or anything, yeah. I see. So, did you eat them all? All of them? I wonder. My timid smile froze again. Yeah. Did you make it without swallowing the sewing needle? Was that what she was trying to asking? If I'd swallowed it, I wouldn't be here.
いや、全部は食べきれなかったからさ。
Nah, I couldn't finish them all.
まだ残ってるんだよ。
There's still some left. I was scared of my wits, but that's how I played it.
あれれ
Oh,
どれがレナが作ったのか当てる宿題はどうなっちゃったのかな
what about the homework to see if you could... Wait, what about the homework to see if you could tell which one of Rena's made?
あの宿題って今日までだったっけ？
Yeah, that homework, was it due today?
うん今日までなんだよ
Yeah, it's due today.
みーちゃん怒るよきっと罰ゲームだね
Mi-chan will get angry. There's probably a penalty game ready for you. Oh, yeah, penalty game. Right. We both laughed to each other. We both laughed at each other again. To casual observer, it was just a typical morning. If I could just let myself believe that even I'll think it was just the usual morning routine. But certainly wasn't mistaken. There is something unimaginable buried beneath the facade of this giggling Rena. Lies! I recall that unexpected, piercing voice that I could hardly believe that came from Rena's mouth. The moment the image crossed my mind, I felt cold sweat trickling down my back. Oh no. Was it only that particular time that something evil has possessed Rena? No, that was wrong. That was still Rena. Oishi-san told me, didn't he?
実は調べてみたら、竜宮さんは引っ越しの少し前に学校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。
Actually, I looked into her before Ryugu-san moved away to Hinamazawa. She was suspended from
な
school.
んでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
It seems she went through her school building and broke all the windows. Yeah, I don't like this face. Rena had a disorder that normal people didn't. No matter how pleasantly she smiled, the fact would not change. But I couldn't even imagine how she looked as she broke all the glass through the school. One thing I knew was that I wasn't something spur of the moment. It was some sudden outburst of anger, and maybe she break a pane or two, but she broke all the windows all throughout her school. Just imagine going through your own school, breaking windows with a bat. Yeah. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Even if she is breaking the windows, that is pretty cool art. Swinging full force at each pane, one after another, paying no heed to the flying shards. Your classmates aghast, unable to move from the sudden turn of events. I wonder where she could have found the most windows lined up in a row. Probably the hall. Walk, wind up, smash. Walk up, wind, smash. It was difficult for me to connect the horrifying image with Rena smiling at me right now. But I just had to imagine it. Impossible because it was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking no longer worked. The unpleasant piercing sound of shattering glass and the crunching noise as Rena treads across the broken shards, walking towards me. Rena's classmates going up pale as they forgot to even breathe. I wonder what they did as Rena came closer, breaking windows along her path. Did they earnestly try to bring her to her senses by saying something? Or did they jump at her, trying to stop her salvaging? Or did they run to the staff room to call the teachers? Probably none of those. Oh geez, that's a lot of windows. In the face of the blood-curdling sight of Rena busting window after window, undoubtedly all they could do was silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, they cleared a path for Rena to continue. It would be cruel to blame anyone for looking the other way. No, they weren't simply looking the other way. They knew it was the only way they could protect themselves. If they had done something differently from the rest, they might have been suddenly found themselves as Rena's new target. What would Rena have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer was obvious. She would have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. Ooh. Imagine that glass being someone's head. That would not be good. meaning I would be the next window exactly. Rena staring into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling underfoot as she drew closer. I was rather drawn to her eyes, paralyzed. Oh, ah. Rena struck me with the bat over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crouched down to the floor, desperately protecting my head. Rena did not care whether it was my head or my back. Zealously, she hit me again and again. What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was so indifferent, she was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, it didn't make as pleasant as a sound as the other windows. Oh jeez. Yeah. She struck me continuously, over and over again. The sound of Rena didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody beat me, turning a blind eye unless we're hanging out. But of course, everyone in class stumbled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They gained nothing from saving a cram school tryhard like me. Oh jeez. Eventually, there will be a faint sound similar to when you crack a walnut, and some sort of reddish black spray would shoot out. Anyway, it wasn't Rena's momentarily lost herself in her anger. After forcing myself to breathe and calm down in my heart, I recall what Oishi-san told me.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテに、レナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね。
And in the counselor's medical report, he recorded all the conversations he had with Rena-san.
その中に出てくるんですよ。
It shows up.
結構。
And quite a bit of that.
何がです？
What does?
出てくるんですよ。
She mentioned
おやしろ様って単語が。
the word Osho-sama. Oh. Following that, Rena was suspended and had her regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Rena was undergoing counseling, she said over and over, Osho-sama.
おやしろ様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんですよ。
It seems that Osho-sama spoke of was like a ghost appearing in her house every night.
枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
Standing over her pillow, looking down at her. That was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture, but it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then what Rena did? Was she saying that ghastly incident was the result of her being possessed by Osho-sama? Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Osho-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because of some sort of conspiracy. Every time I talked to Oshi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not some curse. Except, it was the people pretending the incidents my friends were somehow deeply connected. I refused to believe that the curse was real. Then I would have believed those who acted the kindness to me were deeply involved in the incidents. Why? How? For what reason? Was Rena? Was everyone? It was much more painful and troublesome than accepting that it was just Osho-sama's curse. In the aftermath, Rena had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Osho-sama. I felt a strange sense of relief from that, so that's how it was. There wasn't a second side to Rena. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Osho-sama. It wasn't Rena's fault. Osho-sama was the one to blame. I knew. This was all backwards. Refusing to believe there is a curse. I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my belief to my own convenience. saying that it was Osho-sama's curse to blame. Which was a better choice, accepting that Osho-sama's curse exists, or that Ren and the rest of them were deeply involved in a string of mysterious deaths. I don't want to think about it. If I just wanted to think about it, I would be able to continue this. No, wait. If I didn't want to think about it, I'll be able to continue the same way as always. I wanted to believe that, but that was no longer possible. I received their message. It was pathetic of me to try and blend the meaning of their own to my own convenience, regardless of whether my opponents were humans or a curse. I wouldn't let it kill me, as if I wanted to bend over and give in, for no good reason at all. Okay, she looks like she's back to normal. Keiichi-kun?
さっきから変な顔してる。
You've been making a weird face.
なんでだろうだろう。
Why? I wonder. Inhaling sharply upon hearing Rena's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I had realized we were suddenly at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exercised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how you looked at it, there's no way Rena could have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. Oh. Oh, trap. As I slid the door open, the blackboard eraser loaded with chalk dropped on my head the moment I stepped into class. The chalk dust went right into my eyes, including a brief moment of agony. Satoko? Why? Oh,
鶴休みのケイチさんにはお似合いですことよ。
how befitting for a Trudent Keiichi-san.
ケイチもレナもおはようございますです。
Good morning to both of you, Keiichi and Rena.
おはよう。さとこちゃんにリカちゃん。
Good morning, Satoko-chan, Rika-chan. Not in quite a mood for it. I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by and expecting me to attack her. She seemed like a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently.
何なんですの？
What is this?
張り合いがありませんわ。
How discouraging indeed.
ケイチ、まだ本調子じゃないみたいです。
Keiji doesn't seem to be his usual self yet.
うん。
Yeah.
だから、今日は加減してあげて。
Take it easy on him today, okay? Suddenly, there was a slap down my shoulder. It hurt a bit. Is it Mion?
よ、ケイちゃん。
Yeah, Mion.
しっかり休んできた？
Hey, Keiichi-kun. Oh-chan. Keiji-chan, did you get enough rest? It was Mion. My mind was full of the stuff about Rena, but Mion was also a party of interest. Remember, Keiichi? That hawkish gaze from yesterday.
ああ、おはよ
Yeah. Morning.
なんだなんだ。ずいぶんと覇気のない挨拶じゃん。
What's with that energetic greeting?
差し入れのおはぎ、ちゃんと食べてくれなかったの？
Did you eat the mochi I bought you? I'm like this because I ate them. Those words were itching to be blurred out.
う。やっぱ食欲がなくてさ、
I really didn't have the appetite.
いくつかは食べたけど、だいぶ残しちゃったんだ。
I ate a few, but there's quite a lot left over.
あれ？じゃあ宿題は？
Huh? Well, what about the homework?
どれがレナの手作りかってのの回答は？
Do you have an answer for which one was Rena's?
ケイチくん宿題忘れなんだって。
Keiichi-kun said he forgot his homework.
ありゃー。じゃあ仕方ないね。罰ゲーム。
Sheesh. Then we can't help it. Time for your penalty. Blushing with a lucid smile, Mion returned to her seat. There was nothing from our exchange that would cause her classmates to suspect anything was amiss. But of course, anyone listening to our conversation up until this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That's why it was so frightening. They acted in a way that regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Mabra, no one would ever suspect them. That fact had me terrified. That would be very terrifying. That they can probably kind of get away with doing whatever they want. Okay. Soon, the teacher came. After she asked how I felt and took attendance, another dull, ordinary day began. Oh, mid-chapter. That was fast. Alright, well, I'm going to take a quick drink of water, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, let's see where we... The free study period was a convenient time to consider where I stood. I gently closed my eyes and poured into the ridiculous position I was in right now. First of all, what shouldn't I forget? How dangerous a situation I was in? I had fallen out of favor with them. After interacting with Osho-san multiple times, I could see it was I getting closer to the heart of the matter. The warning yesterday with Emochi was a good indicator of that. No, calling it a warning was just a bit of a habit of understanding things. It was probably had no meaning beyond stunning my progress and buying themselves some time. Until they had the method of completely erasing me, they were just biding their time. Even though they were keeping me under their thumb with threats, it didn't change the fact that I knew too much. The chilling sensation of my desk made me recall Satoshi Hojo, the boy who was using the seat until last year when he disappeared. Was he also similar to me? Did he learn something he shouldn't have and was erased? Damn. I wouldn't let them get rid of me so easy. Never. But were they really trying to kill me? I've had these contrary feelings for a while now. Even though I suspected them, I felt I had to cover for them. Even having witnessed all their suspicious behavior, a morning like this just made it seem like an elaborate hoax. No, that's what I want to believe. Doubting my friends? Covering for them? My life was in danger? Or was it? Actually, I was debating the wrong point. Given my situation, these points were something that should have been deliberated on a long time ago. But really, Rena and the rest of them, were they actually aiming to kill me? The little voice inside me continued to torment me with these unresolved trains of thought. Are you an idiot, Keiichi, my bruh? The answer should be obvious. But maybe that sewing needle might have just been an accident, right? How could you screw up and drop a sewing needle in a piece of mochi? The benefits of doubt can only go so far. Both Rena and Mion had acted and behaved suspiciously, but maybe it was all some sort of misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? It wasn't just suspicious, it was outright ludicrous, right? Rena just corrected me for lying, and Mion only asked me about what I had for lunch. Rena was standing outside my door eavesdropping for a solid hour. She was probably just waiting for my phone call to end. For a whole hour outside her room? And is it normal to go home afterwards without saying anything? You hear Osho-san, didn't you? About Rena did to her former school? But at the hospital, she said it was Osho-sama's fault. She...
いい加減にしろよ、前原圭一。お前、命を狙われてるって自覚あるのかよ。
Hopefully you're not saying this out loud. Cut it out, Keiichi, my bruh. Do you realize they're out to kill you? Yeah. I inadvertently blurted out those words out loud. Hearing myself say that so directly left me dumbfounded for a few moments. Afterwards, I had to look around to check if anyone else heard it. My little soliloquy cut a little too close to the truth. Even though I could feel the monstrous intent from Rena and the others, part of me somehow was still trying to deny that. This late in the game, such hesitation could be fatal. I knew that, but I was your average student, a man living his normal ordinary life. Do you think I can suddenly believe that my friends, who had been happily laughing together up until last Sunday, now intended to kill me? Right?
甘えるな、ケイチ。
You're too soft, Keiichi. This time I remembered to keep my voice down so only I could hear it. There's one thing I now understood. I was too soft. I didn't completely understand how dangerous Rena and the rest of them were. No, I was trying to understand. I was too soft for not listening to Osho-san when he was earnestly showing me the heart of the matter. I didn't listen because I was too busy pretending to be dejected. I didn't comprehend it. It was just running away. I didn't comprehend it, so nobody had any notions of trying to kill me. I needed to get rid of such naive thoughts. As I made the resolution, I heard the bell signaling the end of class. So soon. The day was already over. I didn't recall eating lunch or doing anything in class. My friends were putting their desks together in preparation for club activities. Not long ago, I would probably be happily join them in that circle.
あらあら、ケイチさん。
My mind, Keiichi-san.
帰り支度とはあんまりですことよ。
How rude of you to think about leaving. The way Sachiko spoke was so typical and familiar, it almost physically hurt.
あれケイチくん、今日は都合悪いのかな
Keiichi-kun, isn't today not a good day? I wonder.
今日こそ二人で大勝利。はあ。
And we were going to win big together. Oh. Seeing Rena's expression, which said she was really looking forward to today, was hard to take. Hey, Keiichi, maybe Osho-san is just one of the enormous jerks trying to separate me from the others by lying to me. Slap. Trying to expunge such weak-minded thinking, I slapped myself in the face.
ケイチくん
Keiichi-kun? Yeah. Was Rena really trying to kill me? I wish someone would just tell me it was just a hoax. I don't care if it was actually one or not. I just wanted someone to say it. Yet another weak-willed thought. How did I ever become this naive?
大丈夫頭痛いの
Are you alright? Does your head hurt? Apparently, that's how my inner dilemma appeared to Rena.
顔色悪いよ。
You're pale.
一人で帰れる
Can you make it home by yourself?
送ってった方がいいかな
Maybe I should accompany you home. I wonder.
いや、いい。ごめん。
No. It's okay. Sorry.
一人で帰れる。
I could get home by myself.
部活はみんなでやってくれよ。
Just have a meeting without me. Upon hearing that, I wasn't going to participate in the club meeting. Mion pouted unhappily.
ケイちゃんがリベンジ熱望してたってんで、今日はせっかくこの間の推理ゲームにしたってのにな。
Since Kei-chan was so bent on revenge match, we were going to play that deduction game from before too.
ケイチさんにはリターンマッチに臨む熱いハートはありませんですの
Kei-san doesn't have the burning desire for a rematch?
情けないですわね。
How pathetic. I won't fall for some dumb taunt. Without even a retort, I just grabbed my bag. I was just about to get up. Someone's hand perched itself gently on my head.
ケイチ、具合悪そうです。
Keiichi doesn't seem to be doing
か
well.
わいそうですよ。
How unfortunate. It was Rika-chan. She was stretched as far as she could, doing her best to pat my head with her petite hand. It felt nice, which made things even
ご
harder.
めんな
Sorry,
みんな
everybody.
じゃあ
See ya. Oh, poor Kichi. That's all I said and quickly left the classroom. They said something to me as I was leaving, but I couldn't make it out. I managed to make it all the way to the entrance in that state of mind, took out my shoes, put them on, and went forward. Harden to that heart, Keichimar bra. Harden thy heart. They were, for some unfathomable reason, trying to kill me. They were plotting something dubious, watching my every move. But I couldn't hate them, because weren't they my friends? Part of me lamented the naivete, while other part lamented the fact that I had lost something important by lamenting over it in the first place. It felt like my personality was being ripped in two, along with my body. If it was for Osho-sama's curse, then it was just too harsh. Hey, Osho-sama, I was wrong for not believing in your curse, but I believe it now. Completely. Your curse does exist. So seriously, give me a break. I beg of you. Come on. Oh, hopefully he's okay. I really do feel bad for him. Dinner was unusually bland. It had no flavor or aroma. This miso soup was normally tantalizing my appetite instead. It tasted like nothing but boiled water. Dad was eating with us that night. It was a rare occurrence in this household. When he gets into his work, he ate, slept in his own schedule. My dad never cared about the time. Since my dad was at the dinner table, it either meant that he just reached a good point to take a break, or he was in a slump.
とにかく作家のモチベーションってものを理解してないんだよ彼は。
So yeah, he doesn't understand the motivation creators have.
タイアップの話だって口約束なんでしょ？
Your partnership was a verbal agreement, wasn't it?
そんなに反りが合わないならきっぱりお断りしたら？
If it's so hard to agree on things, why not just end it?
助け合いの世界だからお互い様だとは思うんだけど、これじゃ仕事にな。
I felt like it was an industry with a lot of back scratching, but when it gets in the way of businesses, I wasn't able to pick out much of Mom and Dad's conversation, but I could tell it wasn't a pleasant topic. That, of course, made the disgusting food less appealing. Staring listlessly at the exchange between my parents, my mind wandered off to the same thought process I had been going about all day. Friends close to me, no. They used to be friends, but now I could no longer trust them. Right now, I was greatly lacking allies. People I trust, people I could depend on when push comes to shove. There was something I just didn't have. Having one ally would be an incredible reassuring in the current hopelessness situation I was in. I put down my chopsticks and looked over at my parents who were still talking about work. The first course of action that came to mind was to tell my parents everything. Certainly, there wasn't a single person in Himozawa that I couldn't trust 100%. That only meant that only people I could trust were my parents. But even if I told them everything that had happened until now, would they understand? Rena, for example, that neighborly Rena who was so diligent in looking after me, came to get me every day, sometimes even brought over a share of what she's made. How could I explain it? That she wanted to kill me. No matter how I explain it, it would probably be difficult for anyone to comprehend. My somehow energetic dad wouldn't understand, and my high-strung mom would probably drag me off to a psychiatrist in a blink of an eye. Sadly, that amount of trust that existed in our relationship, even if they did come to understand, what could they possibly do? Unless they could uncover the truth, they would never be able to protect me. No, by informing them of this unnecessary things, I'll be putting my parents in danger as well. Considering the victims in past incidents were often married couples, I couldn't even joke about it. For the entire Mabara family to have an accident, or just to vanish into thin air, it was even easily possible in Himazawa. What was important here was knowing something unnecessary put you in danger. The most unsettling question, how did they know that I knew? As long as they don't know, my parents might not fall victim. That was one way to think about it, I guess. At least it was something like that in my case. After I found out, things started becoming odd. In other words, it meant the following. As long as my parents didn't know anything, nothing would happen to them. Which means that this house would be safe haven as long as my parents were in. I knew these were assumptions based on conjecture on top of conjecture. Wanting this house to be safe haven, that would be pinnacle of my weak-willed methods of thinking. I had to concede that it was not completely safe. It was only safer than the other outside. I knew I couldn't rely on my parents. No, I couldn't risk getting my parents involved. Then, the only person that could be my ally would be Osho-san, him and him alone. He was the only person who understood the situation I was in. He didn't care much about my safety. He was just, without a doubt, passionate about solving this case. It was quite frustrating. Osho-san was basically the whole reason I was in this mess. Now, to get out of it, I had to rely on him. Meaning, I was all goring to his devices. It was just my job to look appetizing while bobbing in the waves of speed. Then, when the fish started gathering around, Osho-san would pull up a big haul. It was slightly infuriating, but even I thought that was the best course of action. So then, what should I do? Patience was the first rule of fishing. Just keep waiting until the fish casually bites. But I wasn't simply bait. There were a lot of ways for me to struggle before being devoured. When they struck, I needed to somehow dodge just enough to tag out to Oshi-san. I'm sorry, I yawned a little bit. Guess I must be getting tired. Anyway, let's continue. No question, it was going to be hard. The timing to bring Oshi-san in would be difficult. He was in the city, not in Himazawa. So if I found him in the moment of the need, it would take him about 30 minutes to reach me. So I need to run away for those 30 minutes. For example, I was to set up a rendezvous point for a desired situation or something. I just have to hide out there until Oshi-san arrives.
よし。少し見えてきたぞ。
Okay, I can almost see it now. I was still being chased around in the dark by boogeyman, but I knew which way to go. I would never have imagined this would be so reassuring. Oh yeah. I would probably best if I had a concealed weapon where things got rough. Typically that would call for a switchblade, but that wasn't too reassuring for combat. Also, since it was recognized as a weapon by the public, it also wasn't good. Really, when time comes, a long weapon like a bat would work in my favor. I remember there was a metal bat at school. I could be confident with that when push comes to shove. By pretending I was practicing my swinging, then it wouldn't be suspicious for me to always carrying it around. I could go to school early morning and secure it. Just possessing a weapon might be enough to deter them. Also, one more thing, insurance. It could be something like a note or memo. I could write down everything that's happened as sort of a journal. In case I suddenly vanish, the journal will be left behind. With the journal in his possession, Oshi-san should be able to avenge my death. I left my parents engrossed in their conversation about work and went back to my room. Oh. I tore a piece of paper from a notebook and made my way to my desk. Last time I wrote a journal was for summer homework in elementary school. In the off chance something bad would happen, the police could use my diary as a lead. So I should write down the facts. How should I start? I jolted down my thoughts as they came. Keiichi Mabra. I am in fear for my life. It made me laugh nervously. It was a line that showed up often in detective stories. I never dreamed that I would be in this type of situation where I would write that myself. I do not know why they're after my life. Ren and the others were suspicious, but I had no proof, and that's why I couldn't write anything more. I laughed wearily at myself writing such a passage draped in mystery. Would the police be able to get the hint from writing this that passage? Yeah, I can't say some words. I could only pray that they would. What I prayed for the most, though, was this journal. Never needed to play its part. Here I laughed nervously. I was too simple, so I wrote one more line I just thought of. The only thing that I do know, it has to do with Oshu-sama's curse. Was that too much? I probably shouldn't have written more than that. If I write any more, then it would seem like I was just delusional. In order to appear to the reader that the person who had written this was of sound mind, I chose not to write anything else at that point. I just need to add more as I learned more about the truth. I folded the paper and thought about a place to hide it. But hiding somewhere obvious, or the chances that they would uncover it. On the other hand, it would be too obscure of a location, then there would be a risk that no one would find it at all. In the end, I decided to take off my clock off the wall and stick the folded note on the back with Scotch tape. After that, I put the clock back to its normal position. Yeah, it didn't look like anything was hidden behind it. Now I just need to set it up for that, such that if anything happens to me, my parents could find it. I looked at it countless different angles until I was satisfied, and I made my way downstairs. My parents were still talking about work. It didn't look like they were going to end anytime soon, so I cut in.
話中ごめん。
Sorry to interrupt.
ちょっと聞いてもらっていいかな。
I have something that I wanted to ask you about. I never started off a conversation like that before, so my parents were both startled. They stopped talking and turned
どうし
towards
たの
me.
ケイチ？
What is it, Keiji?
お願いがあるんだけど、聞いてほしいんだ。
I have a favor to ask of you. Please listen.
その、もしもだよ。
Just in case, yeah.
ケイチ、急ぎの話じゃなきゃ後にしなさい。
If it's not urgent, can we do this
お
later?
父さんとお母さんはちょっと今、急ぎの話をしてるんだ。
Right now, Mommy and Daddy have something urgent they're talking about. I don't think their talk was more urgent than mine. And in any case, I stated my
もし
request.
もだよ。
Just in case, okay?
俺が死んだらさ、
If I die. Both my parents went... Wait. Both my parents' eyes went as wide as saucers.
死んだらさ、
If I
俺
die,
の部屋にある時計、あれを棺に入れてほしいんだ。
I want you to put the clock on my wall in my coffin. If they did that, then they'll probably find it. My memoir. Both my parents remained wide-eyed, not moving an inch. I couldn't blame
あの
them.
時計、工作の授業で作ったお気に入りなんだ。
I made that clock in shop class, and I really like
頼む
it.
よ。
So please.
どうしたの
What's the matter?
ケイチ？
Keiichi,
何かあったの？
did something happen? My mom was finally able to ask me the question with a questioning gaze. Of course, this was normal response for someone suddenly talking about a subject like this. I felt bad about making them worry, but right now I just wanted them to think about the clock in my room. With that awkward move leaving the room in silence, I decided to go back to my room.
俺さ、明日は早くに学校に行きたいから、もう寝るよ。
I want to go to school early tomorrow, so I'm going to
おや
bed.
すみ。
Good night. Saying only that, I left the living room. Wow. That's quite a heavy bomb to drop on your parents, to be honest. I need to get to school early tomorrow and secure that bat. I should make today the last day I went to school with Rena. I climbed the stairs. I heard my mom call my name, but I pretended not to hear her. It wasn't something I could talk about with my parents. If I talked about it, it would only make things more dangerous. The fight that I had begun was the fight that had begun between mine and mine alone. I couldn't rely on anyone. I wouldn't be killed, not when I still knew nothing. Oh, is this the end of the chapter already? Because this is the second one. Oh, yep, that's the end of the chapter 10. Not feeling so hot. Alright, let's go ahead and view this tip. Chasing shadows, pursue the truth behind the crimes. Oh. Alright, let's go ahead and view this tip. Oops, sorry. Gotta scratch my nose.
最近、ケイチくんの元気がないね。機嫌が悪いのかな？
Keiichi-kun's feeling a bit down lately. Maybe he's in a bad mood.
さーて、どうしたんだろうね。
I wonder.
恋の病にでもかかってるんじゃないの？
Maybe he's on his period.
みーちゃん、それ飛躍しすぎ。
Me-chan? That's gross.
どう思う？
What you think?
さあね。
Don't know.
ケイちゃんひょっとして。
Could it be that Kei-chan? Maybe.
わかんない。
I don't know.
あの日、ケイちゃんと車で話してたの。中年のでっぷりした男だったんでしょ？
That day, Keiichi-chan was in the car talking to some tubby middle-aged guy, right?
うん。
Yeah.
間違いない。
No mistake.
大石のやつ、ケイちゃんに何を吹き込んでるのかな？
That Oshi, he probably fed him something fishy.
真剣そうだったよ。
Yeah, very
ケ
scary
イ
right
チくん
now.
は顔面蒼白だった。
He looked serious. Keiichi-kun's face was so pale.
あのね、
You see,
レナはよく知らないだろうけど、
you might not know this,
実はあいつ、お社様の使いなんだよ。
but he's actually the messenger of Orshu-sama. Huh?
何の話？
What do you mean?
あいつが現れるとね、必ず鬼隠しが起こるの。本当だよ。
Whenever he shows up, someone is demoned away. No lie. So you're saying that Oshi-san is the Orshu-sama's right hand? Interesting.
あれ？
Oh?
そうなの？
Is that so?
おととし、リカちゃんのお母さんが受水したでしょ？その直前に大石が尋問してたんだよ。
The year before last, Rika-chan's mom drowned, right? Right before that, she was visited by Orshosa.
そういえば、
Oshi.
サトシくんが転校する前にもいたね。
Now that you mention it, he was around before Satoshi-kun transferred out too.
転校？
Transferred?
レナはいいやつだよな。
You're so sweet, Rena.
で、今度はケイチくんの前に現れたんだ。じゃあ、ケイチくんも鬼隠しになっちゃう？
So this time he appeared before Keiichi-kun. So Keiichi-kun's going to be demoned away too? Empty silence hung in the air. And then it's suddenly interrupted. Why are we laughing? Seriously, why were we laughing? Okay. I don't know why we were laughing at the end. Okay, well, that was interesting. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, it's about 30 minutes. I guess I can see how long it takes for the next chapter. Or not. It's a little bit early. Alright, on to chapter 11. This was the first time I've ever woken up with such clarity. It was 5:59, just moments before my alarm would go off. I was amazed at the precision of my internal clock. I made preparations for the next day of school before I went to bed. I changed quickly to descend the deserted lower floor. It appeared that my mom was still asleep. Neither breakfast nor lunch was ready. Yesterday, I allegedly declared that I would be leaving early today, so it couldn't be helped. I slam jammed on some bread, topped it with some instant cocoa. Just as I was finishing up breakfast, Mom rose groggily from her slumber.
あら、ケイチ、今日は早いのね。
My, Keiichi, you're up early.
学校の行事か何か？
Is there some sort of school event?
別に。
Not really. Answering bluntly, I picked up my bag, stood over the stuff 2 slices of bread down my throat.
もう
Just
行
don't
くの？
choke. You're leaving already?
お弁当は？
What about lunch?
もうちょっと待ってくれないとできないわよ。
If you don't wait a bit, I can't make it. If I waited for her to make my lunch, then it wouldn't end up being the same time as usual. If I did that, it would raise the chances of running into Rena and Mion on the way. Yes, from today onwards, I was going to be going to school
今日
alone.
はいいよ。
I'll be fine for today.
じゃあお昼はどうするの？
Then what would you do for
抜
lunch?
け出して商店で菓子パンでも買うよ。
I'll slip out and buy some bread or something at the store.
そう。じゃあこれ、お昼代ね。
Really? Then here's some lunch money.
ちゃんとレシート持ってくるのよ。
Be sure to bring me back the receipt. I took the 1,000-yen bill from my mom and slipped into my
こん
pocket.
なに早いけど、レナちゃんたちもこんなに早いの？
It's pretty early. Is Rena up this early as
い
well?
や、俺だけ。
No, just me.
レナちゃんには早く出るって伝えてあるの？
Did you tell Rena that you're leaving early? I have no reason to tell her every little detail. Now, do I? Finding it difficult answering the onslaught of questions, I made an annoyed face.
レナが来たら、ケイチは先に行ったって伝えてよ。
Tell Rena I went ahead when she comes.
ちょっとケイチ、待ちなさい。
Hey, Keiichi, wait! It's not that I don't trust my parents. I just couldn't rely on them. They couldn't help me. I couldn't only hope that they didn't get involved. It was safer that way. My mom's annoying voice was cut off by the slam of the door. For the first time since I moved here, I headed down the road to the school alone. Okay, I guess Keiichi is going to school alone. Hopefully they don't somehow meet him. Up until now, I always walked down the same path at the same time each day. So when I met the same people at the same places, but today was different. I didn't meet with people I normally, and no one was there at the places where I would normally have met them. Of course, Rena was in the spot where we usually meet, and there wasn't anyone at the spot where we usually meet up with Mion. The length of tree shadows, the morning air, the brightness of the sun, it was completely different from the mornings I'm used to. Without a doubt, it felt strange. It left me with an impression that I had destroyed the illusion Hinamazawa had set up for me. But before it, I had enough time to prepare all the props that needed to deceive me.
あら、ケイチくん。
My
今
Keiichi-kun,
朝は早いわね。みんなで早朝から待ち合わせ？
you're so early today. Is everyone meeting early this morning? The person who called out to me was someone we always pass by as they were taking walks along the edge of the fields. Their name was... oh, I forgot. Of course, this wasn't the spot where we usually passed each
今
other.
朝は早くに目が覚めちゃったので、気分転換なんです。
I woke up early today, so I thought it'd be a good change of pace.
あまり気にしないでください。
That's all. I threw out some random excuse.
レナちゃんやミオンちゃんはどうしたんだい？
What about Rena-chan and
今日は
Mion-chan?
一人なの？
Are you by yourself
え
today?
え、まあ、
Well, yeah. I was being asked the same questions as my mom was asking, so I answered them in the same uninterested, vague manner. It wasn't fun being asked where Rena was each time I passed someone. But maybe it was to be expected. It was because for so long we were always together, so abnegably. Even I felt that if I let my guard down, we could still be for... Stop it, Keiichi. Don't think about that anymore. You spent all yesterday thinking about how dangerous it was to go... how dangerous it was to go soft, didn't you? A car horn blared from out of nowhere, even though I was walking, lost in thought. The horn was way too close. A mechanical behemoth barreled at me from behind, catching me completely off guard. Is it Osho? By the time I turned around, the van hulking chassis was almost on top of me. I seen plenty of cars veer to the opposite shoulder to avoid pedestrians, but this car was doing the opposite. It felt like that someone on the opposite shoulder, and the van was swerving in my direction to avoid them. That blissfully ignorant train of thought delayed me from realizing something much, much more important. The large mass was hurling right at me. Was it going to hit me? Okay, so someone else, a random person. Inside my head, instantly flooded with a painful cold liquid. In that moment, the scene before me, no, time itself, had frozen. In the silence of that frozen moment, I compared the van so close that I had no way to dodge it, and my body, the upper half, twisted awkwardly in order to look behind me. There was no way I could have dived out of the way in my current position. If I lose focus now, the moment would unpause, and I would probably caught over in the silly pose, bent my upper back towards the paddy by the side of the road. If I bent far enough, I would get away with just being hit by the side view mirror. As the thought crossed my mind, the temporal stasis was shattered by the deafening sound of the van. The side mirror struck my shoulder, sending me spinning off through the air like a top, locked in my controlled position. Oh, well, at least he didn't get kaspooshed, you know. I stumbled, sent tumbling through the air. I crashed into a muddy paddy by the side of the road. My entire body was spoiled and drenched. But the choice I had made in a vest was unmistakably the best. I was covered in mud, but the alternative was being hit by the cart. It was the closest I could being unscratched. Rinsing out from the paddy, I had enough in me to glare over at the stopped van and yelled profanities at the driver. I'm not sure if I was able to see me, but the van sped off suddenly. Oh, hit and run. It was a hit and run. Wait, dang it. This is what they call a hit and run. Wasn't exactly, that's what I was saying. It was a hit and run. I couldn't help but continue yelling at profanities. The disgrace for me being covered in mud hurt me more than any physical wounds. I slogged through the muddy paddy and made my way back to the road. This is a crime, gosh dang it. I still gotta track you down and sue you. If I'm looking for a van, I'm sure to find it in this little village. The path had rice paddies on either side, and it became so narrow that one car could barely fit through. It wasn't a place for you to tear full speed down the road, let alone pass by pedestrians. Not only was it a narrow road, but the car just now was close to my side than the other when it passed me. Even as I cursed, I desperately trying to surpass the dark cloud rolling up within me. This wasn't just a hit and run. That car just now was trying to run me over, wasn't it? Thinking back, I didn't feel like I had been car creeping upon me slowly for a while. That's right. As soon as I parted ways with a person or taking a walk, I had the feeling this whole time. If I had wanted to pass me, then it had no shortage of chances. Normally, it would have felt suspicious and turned around sooner. But I was lost in thought, and now kicking myself for not realizing there sooner. And then, when the path became narrow, there was no one else in sight. He floored it. If I had hesitated for a moment, the result would have been no laughing matter. As the adrenaline rushed from nearly being run over subsided, and the realization of how terrifying the preceding events were sunk in, there was no doubt about it. The van was intently trying to hit me. A cold, viscous sweat seeped from my scalp down to the back, dripping off. I struggled to avoid falling into panic. There was still a possibility that there was a possibility that this was really just an accident. Calm down, Keiichi. But also, don't be so naive, Keiichi. Being relaxed will get you killed next time. You need to be always on your toes. Don't give them any openings. If my enemies were really out to kill me, then next time they would use more reliable method. If the time came and I was acting like I was now, getting covered in mud was just a piece I had to pay for my own naivete. Covered in mud, but without injury. Not even a sprain. I guess this was what you call a silver lining. I began walking again, this time cautiously. I wouldn't even show a hint of carelessness. I suspect only Reddit and others to show up now. No, it was because I had suspected them that I believed there was no other enemy. Oshi-san had said so, didn't he? There was possibilities of village conspiracy. Was I really mired too deeply into the situation that I had no choice but to try and carry on as usual? Wouldn't it be safer just to hold myself in my house? But the moment I abandoned my regular routine, everyone around me would abandon theirs as well. That was just the horrifying of the thought. No, that's not good. Let me do something real quick. Okay. I recall the tales of Oshi-san telling me of when Higurashi was still called Onikakushi, a frightening tale of an entire village of demons haunting their prey, surrounding them and eating them alive. One must not interfere with demons. One must pretend not to see it. The enemies were numerous, the whole village. The villagers, with their unwavering faith in the curse, would do nothing to help me. The strong and sudden flash of sunshine made me slightly dizzy. I had no idea what was going on anymore. When I suspected it was the work of man, I wouldn't catch a glimpse of Oshi-sama's curse. And when I suspected it was Oshi-sama's curse, someone would poke their head out. What a coincidence was coincidence? What was intentional? Who was my enemy? Who was just a bystander? No, what I really, truly wanted to know was, how did I end up with a proverbial bullseye painted on my back? Eventually an answer in a form I could understand will appear. I don't care when that will happen, but until then, I cannot die. That alone fueled my resolve to fight and will keep me alive. And poor Keiichi, he almost got ran over. I remember seeing the metal bat at the gym storage shed, but there was a padlock in the door barring my entry. At the very least, I wanted to get my hands on it before everyone else arrived at school. I circled around the school grounds impatiently. But all I could find were things like pieces of lumber, nothing that I can bring into classroom easily. Then I had an epiphany. I should search inside the classroom. If there was something in the class to begin with, then there wouldn't be a problem. I could tell that everyone's inside shoes were still in their lockers. Good thing it came early, because no one else was here. I wonder, what could I find in the classroom? I didn't think I could find an especially effective weapon like a bat, but it couldn't help at this point. Until the gym storage shed was open, I needed to find a substitute. A lingering hint of naivete whispered that there was no way I'd be attacked at school, but such a soft ideas would no longer protect me. To think that they were slowly making their way into the parts of my life that I had once thought was impenetrable. In the worst case, my own house might not be safe anymore. That was incredibly frightening thought. But I believe that not considering the worst case scenario would have been even more frightening. Anyway, I will survive. So as long as I live, then I will definitely be able to escape this labyrinth of nonsense. Definitely. Yeah, I believe in you, Keiichi. I'm gonna take another drink of water. I'm getting really thirsty right now. Okay. I don't know why I'm really thirsty today. Okay. My exploration of the classroom came to an impasse. That much was to be expected. There was no way there would be anything that could be a weapon in the classroom. In case of emergency, there was probably nothing I could do but swing my own chair around. My gaze landed in the lockers that had come to be used for personal storage. The locker that Mio used to store her pile of games was among them. There's one for each person in the class, all lined up. Of course, there is one for me as well. Oh yeah, there's supposed to be still a tracksuit in my locker. Seeing me covered in mud would be strange. I should go change later, but first I need a weapon. When my classmates came, it would be hard to rummage through all the lockers. I swiftly began opening lockers one by one. They were mostly filled with things like gym clothes, personal items, and umbrellas. An umbrella? If I couldn't find anything better, this would have been my weapon. I was about to give up finding anything decent when I opened a locker that had exactly what I wanted. Oh, what is it? Ah, it was, without a doubt, a metal bat. It was well worn and pretty beaten up, but there's no doubt it was usable. In that locker that reeked of mold, there's also hung a baseball uniform. Okay, this has to be probably Satoshi's. That was probably Satoshi's locker. It was probably a locker of a student in a Pee Wee League or something like that. If that was the case, then he probably asked for it back. At the time, I could hear voices of the children skulking their way nosily in from the hallway. Amongst them, I could make out Rika-chan's and Satoko.
おはようございますです。
Good morning.
今朝はお早いですわね、ケイチさん。
Mama, you're quite early this morning, Keiichi-san. I nonchalantly hid the bat that was hiding behind my back.
なんなんですの、その身なりは。
What's with your outfit?
泥だらけでしたよ。
You're covered in mud.
ああ。まあ、ちょっとあってな。
Yeah, I had a little incident.
すぐ着替えるから勘弁しろ。
I'm going to change now, but cut me some slack. With that said, I began taking on my clothes. Satoko began to blush, as I expected her to.
レディーの前でお着替えなんてしつけがなってませんことよ。
Changing in front of a lady? Have you had no tact at
着
all?
替えをじーっと見てるレディーもしつけがなってないと思うぞ。
I would think that a lady staring at someone who is changing would be the one lacking in tact.
男子は更衣室がないんだから諦めろ。
There's no changing room for boys, so just deal with it. As Satoko feigned disgust, she went into the hall, still blushing. Conveniently, Rika-chan continued to stare at me, preparing to change.
リカちゃんもレディーなら着替えを見てるのは良くないと思うぞ。
If Rika-chan is a lady as well, then I don't think it would be appropriate for you to be watching.
僕はレディーじゃないですからいいのです。
I'm no lady, so that's fine. So deliberately prudent and looked at me with unturned eyes.
じゃあリカちゃんも今からレディーだ。
Then, starting now, you're a lady.
レディーなら仕方ありませんです。
Then if I'm a lady, then I suppose I must. Rika-chan appeared to be satisfied with being considered a lady, made her way to join Satoko in the hall. Just as I breathed a sign of relief, Rika-chan stopped suddenly and turned back towards me.
ケイチは野球を始めますですか？
Are you gonna start playing baseball? Seems Rika-chan had noticed the bat.
ああ、ちょっとさ。
Yeah. Just, you know,
体がなまってさ、
I was feeling a bit out of shape,
ちょっと素振りでも始めようかなってな。
so I thought I'd just try practicing my
健
swings.
康に気を使うのはとても良いことだと思いますです。
I think it's wonderful that you're taking care of your health. She was talking like an old lady despite her appearance. After saying that, Rika-chan started to leave again, but stopped again to look back at me once more.
そのバットなくさないでくださいねです。
Please don't lose that bat. It seems like she already knew I took it out of someone's locker. There was no name in the locker. Yep, definitely Satoshi's. I didn't know whose bat this was, but I would be borrowing it until they complained. Oh, they won't be complaining because if it's Satoshi's, I'm not gonna be there. The only person that might complain would be Satoko. I would probably be the only person complaining since that was her brother. Yeah. It wouldn't be so long. For too long, just until the gym storage shed was open. After quickly changing the tracksuit, I checked the time. I still had plenty of time before classes began, so I came so early. I took the bat in one hand and went to the schoolyard. That was, of course, to practice my swings. I needed to make it known that I already had the bat in me so I could practice my swings. At some point, the sunlight became very stronger. Disregarding my classmates as they made way to the school, I took my position in the shadow of the school building. I wasn't the academic type, and I wasn't much of an athlete either. I might get muscle pain if I just suddenly started swinging. I should at least start out with some warm-ups. I doubt anyone would think I was doing something out of ordinary, which was the exact opposite of my actual mental state. I grabbed the bat and swung lightly. The bat was by no means light. The weight would make it a reliable weapon when I needed it to be. Of course, I could only pray that the moment I needed to use this as a weapon would never come. Just carrying around could deter attacks against me. At least, that's what I hoped. Oh, 3 swings.
あれ
Huh?
ケイちゃん
Kei-chan?
まだ何やってんの？
What are you doing? Being bombarded with such hysterical voice, I jumped.
ああ、ケイチくん野球部だよ。野球部だよ。
Whoa, Keiichi-kun, are you on the baseball team? The baseball team? It was Rena and Mion.
先に行ったって言われて驚いたけど、ケイちゃん、あんた何やってるわけ？
I was surprised to hear that you went off ahead. What are you doing,
見
Kei-chan?
てわからないかよ。
Can you tell by looking?
素振りだよ。甲子園だよ。
I'm practicing my swings for the championship.
別にダイエットでもいいぞ。
Can't say it's part of my diet if you want.
ダイエットってケイちゃん、そんなに太ってたっけ？
Diet? Kei-chan, are you really that fat?
ああ、知らなかったろ。実は三段腹なんだ。
Bet you didn't know. I could have a beer belly.
もちもちでタプタプなんだぞ。
It's plump and it jiggles. Kinda like Santa's.
もちもちでタプタプ。
But plump and jiggles.
レナ、変な想像しなくていいぞ。
Rena, you don't have to imagine something weird like that. Just think of it as Santa. To disrupt Rena from imagining something that vulgar, I ruffled her hair mercilessly.
じゃあまあ、頑張って県大会を目指してちょうだいよ。
Well then, hope that you make it to regionals at least.
おじさん応援してるわ。
This old man will cheer on you.
野球部の強い高校、教えよっか？
Regionally speaking, it seems that Oshima High is pretty
そ
strong.
こにいる左腕の亀田くんがすごいピッチャーなんだけどさ。
They say their southpaw Kamina-kun
Moonmist,
is
it's
amazing.
time for bed.
Oh, it's already that
Rest
late?
well and recharge for more magical adventures tomorrow.
Is it really 1 o'clock
Your
already?
well-being
Wow.
is important.
That's
So
all.
sleep tight and
Dang.
dream sweetly of our
That's pretty
enchanting
early.
journey
Okay, well,
together.
yeah.
Good night.
Good night, Maple. I will go to bed soon. Let me finish this chapter. Hopefully it's not too long. Anyway, let's see where let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already said that, I think. Oop. Why is it not moving?
頑張って
There we
ね。
go. Good luck. Seems like they've already taken me for the baseball nut, but oh well. She knows her fighting. Oh, yeah, yeah. Very much. Well, if I really did make it to the championship, it would be a cinch. After all, it'd be the pitcher and the catcher. I'd pitch the ball, then run past the ball, and I just threw and change over being the catcher at a burst of super incredible explosive speed. I laughed dryly as a ludicrous image. Come back to my senses, I smashed the bat against the ground. Dang it.
何笑ってんだよ俺
What am I laughing at? I pounded the ground over and over. With each impact, the reverberations traveling through the bat stung my hands. If they smiled at me like that, yes. Don't allow anyone close to me. Don't trust anyone, no matter how many times I tell myself that. If they made me smile like that, I already need to quit while there were demons dwelling in my smiling friends. But I just couldn't believe it. Did that kind of split personality really exist? Like how Rena confessed to the doctor? Were they simply being possessed by Oshu-sama? In other words, did a supernatural being like Oshu-sama really exist? And was it possessing everyone to try to kill me? Yeah, that would be wonderful. If only everyone were actually my friends and all, and everything would just be Oshu-sama's fault.
前原圭一のバカ野郎だから
Damn, you damn fool, Keiichi, my bro. Come on now. I yelled out, drawing all the power from the pit of my stomach, and raised the bat violently into the air. Stop being so soft! I screamed without all my might. I beat the metal bat into the ground over and over again. Yeah, I think Keiichi-san's kind of losing it now. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely losing it. With every impact, my weakness was being beaten down. Smash. Forget. Smash. Don't be soft. Smash. Know your enemy. Smash. Like Hulk, I let them kill me. My shoulders heaving from up and down from the ragged breathing, I heard the first bell ring, and just as I calmed down. Okay, he's kind of getting a little too crazy. But hopefully nothing too weird happens. Oh, next bell. Is it lunchtime? I guess with the sudden realization that was the final bell. Oh, class is over. As I felt the tension drain from me, I let out a deep breath. My mind was in a muddled state from much of the entire day. I didn't feel like I was awake, but it didn't feel like I was asleep either. I couldn't say I felt especially comfortable, but I felt kind of a relief that sanctity of the school part of my daily life had yet to be violated. How long would I have jeez, I can't speak. How long would I have to keep living like this? If only I could only grit my teeth and bear with it as the living heck slowly gnawing away at me. Keiichi-kun!
やろうやろ
Come
う
on!
部活の時間なんだよ
It's club time! It's club time! The sound of Rena's voice brought me back to my senses.
ほらほらケイちゃんぼーっとしない
Come on, Kei-chan. Stop spacing out.
机を寄せて寄せて
Bring your desk. Everyone is moving their desks together as usual. That's right. It was happy, fun club time. But I had no intention of taking part. I haphazardly stuffed the contents of my desk into the bag as I prepared to go home. It was a weak-handed gesture to avoid having to actually say, I'll be going home now.
なんだよケイちゃん
What's this, Kei-chan?
今日も直帰なわけ
You planning on going home right away again? Mion sounded quite
気
disappointed.
分が乗らないんだしばらくほっといてくんないかな
I'm just not in the mood. Can you just let me be for a while? The tone of words that slipped from my mouth matched Mion's disapproving glare. It felt like the air in the room had dried out. Satoko looked as if she was about to say something, but perhaps disgusted, dissuaded by the mood, she swallowed her words and stayed silent. Nobody said a thing. I took that moment that I could to leave if I wanted. But the collective gaze of the four of them, just the tiny pins used to mount an insect on the display, held me in place. Rena was the one who cut through the heavy moon.
圭一くん、やっぱり女の子と一緒に遊ぶのなんか嫌だったかな？かな？
Keiichi-kun, you don't like playing with girls? I guess. She said that in such a melancholic tone that it sent a wave of pain racing through my heart. If this pain was going to kill me, I wanted it to be soft part of me that could still feel pain. I tore at my chest, violently tearing out the pins that held me in place.
そういうわけじゃねえよ。
That's not it at all. I'd only be hurting myself by saying anything more, so I swallowed my words. Cutting things off there, I turned away and exited the classroom. They didn't speak a word to me as I left. Oh, poor Keiichi. It sucks that he has to kind of, what's the word I'm thinking about? Not betraying them, but, disassociating with them? I can't remember what the actual word is. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. But there's a better word to say it. But yeah, he's just driving them away just because he has a feeling. Sure, it kind of makes sense with that one point with the noodle and the mochi. But still, I think they're still trying to be honest friends with him, but I don't know. Let's see. It was a long, dull trip back home, but I didn't lose focus. I firmly squeezed the grip of the bat, which was already sogging from sweat. Realizing that I wiped down with my sleeve, if something were to happen, I wouldn't want it to be slippery. Since this morning, I became especially sensitive to the presence of cars. I would too, since if I would also get almost ran over, I'd kind of be afraid of cars for a little bit. Let's see, even while walking, my ears picked up and sought out threatening sounds and presence that could be closing in. And that was when I could hear it. Without a doubt, there were footsteps. Those footsteps had matched up perfectly with mine for a while now. From what I can sense, it was just one person. But I had no intention of being careless. Did they intend to follow me like a car this morning until we got in a good location to assault me? Then it wasn't a good idea to keep walking like this. I stopped walking and looked back. A wooden path covered in trees responded with silence as if there was nobody there to begin with. But I wouldn't be fooled. I was certain footsteps were following me. As I stopped, the footsteps stopped as well, meaning the person following me wanted to keep their distance. That was without a question proof that I was their target. I held my breath, waiting for that presence to panic, and I started moving again. The trees rustled with the sound of wind. Well, to be honest, if he was in this position, he could either A, continue walking how he is normally, B, walk sideways, or C, walk backwards. And then whoever's following him has to show themselves eventually, if he walks backwards or sideways. Backwards could be kind of not good since you wouldn't be able to see what was technically in front of him or back of him at that point. It'd be a little bit more dangerous. Sideways, if you walk sideways, be kind of cumbersome, but at the very least you'd be able to see who's following you. The Higurashi also joined in the dissonant chorus, trying to throw my focus into disarray. Had 5 minutes passed? Or perhaps I had been like this for a while, whole 30 minutes. It was so hard to breathe that I imagined I might have suffocated. It seems I would be the first one to panic. Without a doubt, he was lurking in the shade of the trees with bated breath. Then I would make my first move. I fixed my grasp on the bat. I raised it to my shoulders to be ready to swing it at any time. Hey!
いるんだろそこに。
I know you're there. With all my might, I screamed at whoever was hiding in the shade of trees. But the presence in the shade didn't budge. Until the moment I found them, I had no intention of revealing themselves.
分かってんだよ。
I know already.
そこにいるのはよ。
I know that you're there. I screamed out angrily at them, but even still, They didn't move at all. Then I'll go over there myself. With a due vigilance, I approached step by step. Stepping to the tree shadow, I saw a human figure there. And I figured that it was curled up like a small animal. Oh, it's Rena. Rena. When she realized I had found her, her expression softened. She seemed apologetic, but wasn't going to speak a word. Did you have some business with me? I wouldn't accept that silence and screamed the question at her.
別に、
Not really. It's just... Rena was in a panic with tears welling up in her eyes. But it was obvious that she had been following me.
部活はどうしたんだよ。
What about club?
ケイチくんがお休みしたから、レナもお休み。
So since you're not, I'm not...
関係ないだろ。
That shouldn't
俺
matter.
なんか気にしないで遊んでろよ。
Don't play with me and just play. Or don't mind me. I think that's what
だ
I
っ
meant.
て、ケイチくんのこと心配で。
But I'm just worried about you. Thinking about how I acted up until now, it wasn't hard to imagine that my behavior could have been perceived as strange. Though Rena was concerned, at a quick glance, that's how it would seem. But I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Even if it was really the case, she still wouldn't have to do something like try to tail me. She should have just called out to me when I was leaving and gone out right with me. But Rena didn't do that. She kept her distance from me, matched my walking speed. On top of that, she matched the sound of her footsteps as she deviously tried to hide her presence from me. Then, after realizing I noticed that she was there, she held her breath as she tried hiding from me. She wore a timid expression that would force one to take pity on her, but without a doubt, she was tailing me.
もうついてくんなよ。
Stop following me. How? Still glaring at Rena, I continued walking onwards. After I walked a bit, she ignored my command and began walking again, so I yelled at her once more.
ついてくるなって言ってるだろ。
I told you not to follow me.
だって、レナの家も同じ方向だし。
Yeah, but my house is in the same direction.
じゃあレナが先を歩けよ。レナが見えなくなったら俺も歩く。
Then start walking ahead of me. I'll start walking once I can't see you anymore. I moved out of the way and waved my bat violently to urge her forward.
レナは、ケイチくんと一緒に帰りたいな。
I'd like to go home together with you. Making a pitiful expression, she meekly squeaked out the words in a voice that she knew would cut into my heart. That agitated me to no end. I knew it was a lie. If you wanted to go home together, then you should have called out to me. Now you're just blurting out random lies.
ごめんなさい、
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It seems that seething with anger within me was all written all over my face. Even without me saying anything, Rena had understood what I was feeling inside.
分かったならほら、行けよ。
If you get it, then go. I swung the bat, urging her to walk again. Rena looked back and forth between me and the bat, starting walking hesitantly, then stopped again.
早く行けよ、早く。
Go on, then hurry.
行くから、
I'm going.
そのバットやめてよ。
So please stop with the bat.
怖いの。
It's scary. Rena guarded herself while pointing at me holding the bat. She may have realized that I wasn't planning on using this bat for baseball. I lowered the bat, but still grudgingly opened the way for her.
行けよ。
Go.
これなら文句ないだろ。
There's no problem now, is there? There was nothing else she could protest. She passed by me timidly as to not set me off. As I watched her pass by, she stopped completely after barely moved in at all.
おい、立ち止まるなよ。
Hey, don't stop. Then a powerful gust of wind passed us, barging my face with dust. Uh-oh. The dust got into my eyes, clouded my vision. While rubbing my eyes, my left hand swung blindly, with the bat in my hand, protecting the small opening I had presented. But Rena didn't even try attacking during that opening. Attack me? No, she hadn't budged an inch. I could tell from the sound of her fluttering skirt in the wind. As her skirt swelled, so did the silence. At the moment, the voice inside me was immensely warned me of impending danger. I was caught off by surprise. The smell of air has changed. Without me realizing, the air around me suddenly felt like a calamity was about to befall me. It was like the air had suddenly become invisible, concrete, like Rena and I were locked in the space. Rena didn't move an inch. Also unable to move, I stared back at her. It's Mion, isn't it? She's gonna be behind us. Rena was the first to break the silence. Intensely, she altered her states. I felt I had witnessed her shift from Rena into the other person who looked like Rena. But the voice was the one I knew well, which filled me with kinds of bewildering pity. Curiously, I felt relief upon hearing the pitiful voice.
ごめんね。
Well, excuse me, but...
聞いてもいい？
Can I ask you something? Too shy to even turn around, Rena squeezed her voice out desperately, as if she trembled.
なんだよ。
What?
あのね。
Well...
どうしてバットなんか持ってるのかな？
Why do you have a bat? I wonder. The question Rena asked me was no means unexpected.
俺が何を持ってたっていいだろ。
I can carry whatever I want.
でも、昨日まで持ってなかったし。
But you didn't have one until today.
どうして突然？
Why so
別
suddenly?
に突然でもいいだろ。
Is it alright if I decide to do something suddenly, isn't it?
俺がバットを持ってるとおかしいかよ。
Is it that strange that I have a bat?
だって圭一くん、野球とかしない人だったでしょ？
But because Keiichi, you're not the kind of person to play
お
baseball.
かしいよ。
It's weird. I couldn't tell what kind of answer she was looking for, and I was getting tired of answering
突
her.
然、野球がしたくなったんだよ。
I just suddenly got urged to play basketball.
それじゃおかしいか。
Baseball, my bad. Is it that so
お
weird?
かしいよ。
It's weird. She answered instantly, and that annoyed me slightly.
突然野球がしたくなった。
I just suddenly wanted to play baseball,
素振りがしたくなったから、バットを持ち歩いてる。
and I wanted to practice my swinging, so I carried around a bat.
それのどこが変なんだよ。
What's strange about that?
変。
Strange.
おかしい。
Weird.
絶対。
Definitely.
なんで圭一くんまで。
Why you too?
ぶつくさとうるせえやつだな。
Your ramblings are annoying me.
俺がスポーツに目覚めるのが、そんなに変かよ。
Is it that strange for me to have an interest in sports? I tried to sound a bit more threatening to the end of the conversation. Until my suspicion about Rena was cleared, I have no obligations to answer her questions.
ごめんね。
I'm sorry.
そんなに怒らないで。
Don't get so angry. Rena still didn't turn around and spat out words of apology one after the next.
最後に一個だけ。
It's just one last
一
thing.
個だけ教えて。
Tell me one last thing.
これ以上話す気も教える気もねえよ。
I don't feel like talking anymore.
早く行けよ。
Hurry up and go! I yelled loudly at her, causing her to flinch like she had been struck. Seeing her in such a pathetic state caused my heart to ache sorely. But even though she was afraid, she stubbornly kept herself from moving. Before I was able to threaten her again, Rena asked her final question.
なんでバットまで同じなの？
Why is your bat the same? What did she mean by bat was the same? I had no idea what she was talking about.
お前、何言ってんだ？
What are you saying?
だから、なんでバットまで同じなのかなって。
I mean, why is the bat the same?
何を言ってんだか全然わかんねえよ。
I don't understand what you mean at all.
もっとはっきり言え。
Say it clearly. Even still, Rena didn't turn around. After inhaling deeply, she screamed.
だからどうしてバットまでサトシ君と同じなの？
I mean, why is it the same bat as Satoshi-kun's? I called it. I knew this was Satoshi's bat.
サトシってえ？
Satoshi? Being? Huh? Upon hearing the name out of the blue, I became dumbfounded for a brief moment. By Satoshi, did she mean the student who transferred out last year? No, that couldn't be. Rena had tried to cover it by saying he transferred out, but Oshi-san told me he clearly was that he was missing. He was the student who sat at my desk until last year. He was believed to be demoned away by Oshi-sama's curse. I don't know all the details about his disappearance. The aunt he lived with was all killed that night of Higurashi by a drug addict, and not long after that he vanished, and now was missing. That Satoshi and I were what? My gaze fell into the bat in my hands. Could it be Satoshi Hanjo? It was a bit difficult to see, but it was written on white tape at the end of the bat. I see. So this was Satoshi's bat.
ああ。
Oh.
これサトシのバットだったんだな。
This was Satoshi's bat.
誰も使ってなかったんでちょっと借りたんだよ。
Since no one was using it, I borrowed it.
いいだろそれくらい。
No, that's the problem, isn't?
そんなことじゃないの。
That's not it. The way Rena said made it seem like this bat was something that should never be touched. Like this was some sort of offering at a shrine or a memento of the deceased. I could only stand there, perplexed and unable to respond. Rena continued speaking without waiting for a
サ
reply.
トシ君の時とどうしてそんなにまで同じなの？
Why is it? What are you trying to do with the exact same thing Satoshi did when it happened to him? Rena was talking about more than just the bat belonging to Satoshi.
サトシ君もそうだった。
It's the same with
野球
Satoshi-kun.
チームには入ってたけど、本当は野球なんか好きじゃない人だったのに。
He joined the baseball team. He didn't really like
それ
baseball.
が俺とどう関係が？
What does that have to do with me?
サトシ君もある日突然バットを持ち歩き始めたの。
Satoshi-kun also suddenly started walking around with a bat one
チ
day.
ームに入ってただけでスポーツなんかしない人だったのに。
He joined a team, but he wasn't even the type to play sports. What about it? I closed my mouth before I could say it out loud. Listen carefully, Keiichi. Rena's trying to tell us something important.
サトシ君もね、ある日突然一人で登校するようになったの。
Satoshi-kun also one day came to school all by himself all of a
ケイチ
sudden,
君みたいに。
just like Keiichi-kun.
そしてね、ある日突然素振りの練習を始めたの。
Then one day he started practicing his
ケイ
swing,
チ君みたいに。
just like Keiichi-kun.
そしてね、ある日突然バットを持ち歩くようになったの。
Then one day he suddenly began carrying a bat around with
ケイチ
him,
君みたいに。
just like Keiichi-kun.
そしてね、ある日突然。
Then one day he suddenly what? Rena had swallowed her words. Rena's sudden silence brought a hush back to the surrounding area. It was then when I finally digested the contents of the entire conversation. She was trying to say my chain of actions was exactly the same as Satoshi's. What was the meaning of this? Up until just now, I had forgotten all about Satoshi. I never paid much thought about him in the first place. Not only that, I didn't even know anything what he has done. My actions today seem to have my own creation after all the planning I'd just done. But they had been the exact same as Satoshi's. Then Satoshi, no, more importantly, if both Satoshi and I acted the same, then there was a really good possibility what was happening after we would be the
レ
same.
ナ、ある日突然サトシはどうしたんだよ。
Rena, that day, what happened to Satoshi? Rena knew. She knew what became of Satoshi. No, forget about what happened to the guy in the past. Rena knew what was going to happen to me.
答えろよレナ。
Answer me, Rena.
サトシはどうしたんだよ。
Satoshi, what happened to him? With that, I grabbed Rena's shoulder, violently and forcibly turned her around to face me. As I faced her, I felt a jolt of travel through my entire body.
言
Ah,
ったよね、
I told you,
ケイチくん。
Keiichi-kun. It was that person that I didn't know. At least, it was definitely wasn't Rena Ryuyu. I've been talking to him till now. That voice just now didn't have the trace of trembling or emotions that it had had before. The amount of regret I felt turning her around so carelessly was unsurpassing. The gaze that pierced like a cold needle, the smile on her face that invoked an image of having been carved out by a knife. Chills went down my spine. My mind froze under a layer of rime. Both Rena's eyes were pierced through mine, leaving me unable to look away. As if to remind me of the fear from the time before, Rena brought her face close to mine, so I could just feel her breath. Her face had filled my entire vision. Then her surprisingly sharp lips grew even sharper, like a curve of a crescent moon. She grinned.
言ったよね、
I told
ケ
you,
イチくん。
Keiichi-kun. After a short pause, Rena repeated the same words
サ
again.
トシくんはね、
Satoshi
転
Kun,
校
you
しち
see,
ゃったの。
transferred out. Transferring, meaning what? What Rena meant must have been something new definition of transfer that was previously not aware of. My throat and lips dried. I couldn't even acknowledge what I just heard. All I could do was swallow down my own saliva. It would seem that Rena saw that as a nod. She pulled back her glaze and spreadly stepped back 2-3 paces. As she did, my legs gave out and I fell to my knees pathetically. Rena and me on my knees underneath her emotionless smile. That had to be a very odd sight indeed. Seeing me in the pathetic state, she neither scoffed at me nor held out her hand, but I could neither stand nor escape her gaze shooting through my eyes. There was undoubtedly a metal bat in my hands, but right now it was useless to me. I was like a fly caught in her web. Heavy sweat beaded all over my body. I could feel it dripping from my skin.
しないよね、
But you wouldn't, would you?
ケイチくんは。
Keiichi-kun. Rena finally released me from the cage of time after what felt like an eternity. But her questions was missing something important. It was incredibly vague. Once again, I swallowed hard, urging her on.
何をだよ。
Do what? What did she not want me to do?
転校。
Transfer. Oh. Okay, so she doesn't want us to transfer. Got it. But by her definition of transfer, I don't know. Oh. Hey, pitch hitter. Take up another bat. Oh, another bat. Nice. I know she is very creepy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with her. Satoshi and I had what? All my planned actions throughout the day turned out to have nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi has done. Satoshi had really been the same situation as I was now. The friends have gotten all along had changed suddenly, and for no reason, at least none that I have noticed, planned to kill him. In fearing for his life as I am, he got a bat to protect himself, carried it around him,
Moonmist,
and
you
practiced
really
his swing.
need to go to bed now.
Is it really 1:30
Your
already?
magical adventures can wait until tomorrow.
Oh,
Rest
wow.
well and replenish your energy.
It's really late already.
Take care of
I
yourself
know,
so
but
we
I'm
can
not done with this
continue
chapter
our
though.
journey
Just a
together.
little bit more time,
Good
okay?
night.
Good night, Maple. Good night. But I'm not done with this chapter. I don't know how long this chapter is, but hopefully I'm almost done. But we'll see. Then suddenly, no, wait. Then one day, suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation to course through my veins. Oh. It's Saturday, Catterday. Oh yeah, it's Catterday, yeah. It is, yeah. Well, technically it's Sunday. Technically now. Technically. If you want to get technical, it's technically Sunday. But yeah. I know Maple needs to chill sometimes, but she's just out for my well-being. And I do appreciate her, though. But yeah, sometimes I can't stop. Just, yeah. Still going. Alright, where are we? Starting near my heart, it radiated onwards from the top of my head to the sole of my feet, filling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he transferred to? Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? Would he be able to tell me why they all ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? I don't know. If he actually did transfer, he wouldn't be missing. So, clearly, she means something else. Before I knew it, I was at my front door. The frigid knob was hard to turn. Was no one home? It wasn't that odd of an occurrence. I reached out to my pocket to pull out the single key attached to the fur-sealed keychain. I stepped into the entryway. Just as I was about to take off my shoes, a chill ran down my spine. Someone had entered right behind me. Like a classmate messing around, standing right up against my back. You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be inside their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there's undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey now, Keiichi. How did you know that they were even there even though they're behind you? Because I could hear the sound of flowing hair. There's no other reason I hear that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Keiichi, my bra, there's no way you could hear that. My most base instincts were warning me of a presence. Common sense was telling me that it was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There's no one behind me. I began to erase the mental image of an eerie figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself, if there was nobody, then what I was feeling, an uncomfortable sensation crawling up my spine? Actually, wouldn't it be better if someone was there? If there was no one there, when you turn around, would you be able to accept that? I'd be able to answer all those questions just by looking behind me. But I didn't have enough courage to even do that simple task. All right, I could try speaking to them. The person behind me might answer me. It was a random thought. I didn't care how it went, just as long as I don't have to turn around. If I calmed down and thought about it, I would have known that would haven't solved anything.
どなたですか?
Who is it? I spoke in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it in my own. I could almost feel them contemplating the response. I felt it. There's no way I shouldn't be able to do that. Calm down, Keiichi. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. That time, I was certain I've heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of someone inhaling. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, however reckless it was, inspired my primal yet fitting solution to the current predicament, a scream. All the force in my body released from my lungs through my throat, ceasing all process in my head. Suppressing all my thoughts and emotion, I began to collapse like a house of cards, somehow managing to twist my body, and I looked back as I did. So it was definitely there, right there. Someone was there, until the moment I turned around, until I brought the area behind me into my field of vision. There's definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced the remnants of the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be. Were they invisible? They looked like they weren't there, but they were actually still standing there? As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free into a violent wave. However, I was decisively calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. That emotion was definitely required to eradicate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In the state of heightened lucidity, I entrusted my body to the fury. The mental metal bat hurls firm in my right hand as if to drawn there by a magnet. A level sweep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remember reading something like that in one of the books about swordsmanship or something. Ah! I brandished my will to fight. The afterimage of an amalgamation of a metal flashed as swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. The bat slammed into the right wall. The tip rebounded violently. Very calmly, I transferred the force of the rebound to the sweep to the left. The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. These two swings whiffed through the empty space, but they seemed to have a giant psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from the space. The attack wasn't the only thing required. I extracted the pad from the cupboard. It was embedded in and screamed as I spun my entire body around in a large arc. My screams shook the air, emboldened my furious swings with even more destructive powers. Crack! Without mercy or restraint, my violent strikes with a certainly fatal force behind it shattered the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck the enemy, but my ferocity has certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat, the invisible enemy there, but not there, disappeared. It dispersed. When I was certain the enemy had retreated, I locked the door and latched the chain. No way. Had it only feigned retreat and now was inside my house? Once again, I channeled my aggression into the search for the house, for the presence. But it was gone. I had succeeded in fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body and I let out a deep sigh of relief. All the emotions I'd been holding back chaotically emerged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, and disbelief, all mixed together, began to flow through my body. Unable to deal with each emotion, each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest exhaustion. Even in this moment, I remained composed. After checking all the doors through the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back, tilted my head back a little, and after clearing my mind of my idle thoughts, I managed to calm down even more. What was at the front door? There was definitely something there. Thinking about it, maybe it was just an apparition I dreamt of in my confused state, but I really don't think it was the case. Calm down, Keiichi, compose yourself. But no matter how calmly I thought about it, what was happened wasn't a fragment of my imagination. It was obviously a supernatural phenomena, and without a doubt, something was behind me. It was something of a sort of an illusion I sought amidst my confusion and disorientation. Truth? I just had one piece. When I asked who it was, they inhaled as if they were about to answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was right in was still unclear. Either I'd been possessed by a supernatural phenomenon known as Oshusama's curse, or was it a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were intimidating me? Either way, their motivations were unclear. The roundabout ways had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetrated by humans, that would mean admitting it was Rena and the rest of them doing it. But Would it be solvable? Oshi-san's and the rest of the police would surely arrest my enemy. But if it was a manifestation of Osho-sama's curse, I wonder what would happen. Oshi-san was very clearly declared that curses don't exist. At the time, those words were pretty dependable, but as things are now, with the rising possibility the perpetrator were not human, he suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oshi-san that this was work of the Oshi-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question that a void would explain rapidly between myself and Osho-sama. With me having a few allies to begin with, and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse, there is no merit of doing that. I better keep my facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It would be better if I didn't add what happened to... if I didn't add what happened here to the memo behind the clock. There is still ever so slightly possibility that I was actually confused when I thought I was composed, and I was just going berserk at the entryway. How wonderful would it be if that would really happen? I would be able to refute Osho-sama's curse, but if I denied Osho-sama's curse, that would mean admitting that Rena and the rest were perpetrators. If I said Rena and the rest were perpetrators, then that would mean believing Osho-sama's curse. By denying both of those, I would be admitting that I myself was losing it. 3 options which I couldn't choose became the trilemma of sorts. They mixed together and formed a whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I straightened myself and leaned my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Keiichi. Accept what actually happened as reality. Stop thinking of anything more than that. But I couldn't help by thinking about it. How wonderful would it be if it turned out I was delirious and everything up until now was a figment of my imagination? Osho-sama's curse wouldn't exist. I still would be best buddies with Rena and the rest. I would have to be crazy. That would be the first time in my life that I ever wished for such a thing. Oh. Okay, he's definitely losing it. I don't know. Oh, phone call. Ring ring, ring-a-ding-ding. Phone call, phone call. The phone rang noisily downstairs. Generally, there was no calls for me, so I never really answered the phone much. But since my parents weren't here, I had no choice. I squirmed off the bed and went downstairs. But don't you have a phone in your room? I saw a phone there.
もしもし、前原です。
Oh well. Hello, this is Marbara's residence.
Keiichi? お母さんだけど。
Keiichi, this is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this. It was because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things. So I took the initiative. What?
別に俺、夕食はインスタントでもいいよ。
I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner.
まだいっぱいあったでしょ。
There's still plenty a lot of them. The other day, we went out as a family and bought a whole case of cup of noodles. I went and got a bunch of different kinds, actually, but they refused, since the individual packs were expensive, so instead, I got a whole case of the mega size, pork bone and ginger flavored, the ones I liked. But my parents didn't like strong flavors, and didn't touch any of them, so the cupboards were still full of them.
だからさ、買い物に行く必要はないんじゃないの？
So you see, there's not really any need to go shopping, right?
ケイチ、買い物のお願いじゃないの。
Keiichi, I'm not asking you to go
お父
shopping.
さんとお母さんね、お仕事の関係で急遽東京に行かなくちゃならなくなったの。
Both mommy and daddy have to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Uh-oh. That's not good. He's gonna be alone for a while, and that's not good.
え？
Huh, exactly. Right now? This was really abrupt.
もう着いちゃってるの。
No, we're already
お
here.
昼には出発してたからね。
We left this afternoon. It was quite the distance from Tokyo to Hinozawa. Gunning it at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has a license, but he still doesn't like the highways. They likely took the train. It would have taken longer.
ケイチもお父さんとお母さんの話を聞いてたからわかるかもしれないけど、お父さんのお仕事の契約がね、今ちょっとうまくいってないの。
I'm thinking you might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract. Right now, things aren't going so smoothly. Now that she mentioned it, I did remember that they talked about that time about his job prospects weren't looking so good.
お父さんはそういうのに繊細な人だから、このままだとお仕事にも影響が出ちゃうの。
Daddy's really sensitive about things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it'll affect his work. Part of my father's particular fragile artistic personality is emotion change as easily as the fall sky. You can also just say that you couldn't take criticism.
でもそんなの電話でやり取りすればいいじゃないか。
But something like that could have been done over the phone.
ケイチ、お父さんのお仕事なんだから、もうちょっと応援してあげて。
Keiji, this is your father's job, so can you support him a bit, please?
とにかく電話よりも直接会って話した方が早いの。
Anyway, it's just faster to talk about in person,
誤解もないし。
so there wouldn't be any misunderstandings. As their son, there is nothing more I could say once they started talking about work.
だから帰るのは明日の晩になっちゃうの。
Oh, so we'll be back tomorrow night. Oh, so he's gonna be alone for 24 hours. Great. Or at least somewhere around there. I don't know. Anything can happen when Keiichi's by himself.
ケイチ、一人で大丈夫よね。
Keiichi, you'll be fine on your own. Maybe he might be. I don't know. He's kind of losing it.
別に死にゃしないよ。
It's not like I'll die or anything.
ケイチ、死んじゃうなんて軽々しく言っちゃダメよ。
Keiichi, you shouldn't speak so lightly of
心
dying.
配事があったら相談してね。
Yeah, definitely. Oof. Is there something troubling you? Just talk to us.
母さん、きっと相談に乗れると思うから。
I believe mommy will be able to help out. You don't like where this is going one bit? Yeah, neither do I. You feel like, yeah, something's definitely gonna happen. I can feel it. Something's definitely gonna happen. Yesterday, I did bring up if I die rather abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. But really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing would be resolved by telling them. But I didn't plan on dying. At least not a while. I still knew nothing. I would never allow it.
死なないよ。
I won't die.
俺は
I won't.
あがいてでも生き延びる。
I'll survive even I have to gnaw my legs off.
そう。
Yeah.
じゃあね、
See you
明
then.
日の朝、ちゃんと起きるのよ。
Tomorrow morning, make sure to wake up
朝ごはんは食べてね。
and eat your
お
breakfast.
風呂と歯磨きも忘れないのよ。
And don't forget to brush your teeth and go take a bath.
へいへい。そんじゃ。
Yeah. See ya. The call ended like that. Sometimes my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings, but Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. The times they did were normally planned out in advance and never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say that these circumstances didn't feel strange, or rather unnatural. Anyway, I need to realize this reality of the situation, that tonight I was the only one in the house. That's when my parents came back from work. I'll be gone, missing, vanished. Looking back on the series of events from the previous 5 years involving Osho-sama's curse, it wouldn't seem that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I didn't think it was good that only light in the whole house was from my room on the second floor. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy. My parents were gone, and this was their chance. First, I ran to the living room, flicked on the lights, turned on the TV to be a reassuring level volume. The next was steady. I simply turned on the lights and played some music. With this, from the outside, it looked like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocking. When I saw the veranda and the laundry was still hanging out, I went pale. That would have made it obvious. I need to take it down. I snatched down the laundry haphazardly and erased all traces of my mother wasn't there. It should be fine now. The garage. They had gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Okinawa station. The garage was empty, wide open, in plain sight. This wasn't good. I panicked and rushed out to the back to close the normally open garage door. It should be fine now. I need to get the paper. Mom always got the paper since they left it in the afternoon. The evening paper was still out there. My premonitions was correct. I pulled out everything from the mailbox and dropped everything in the entryway. With this, for sure, this time it should be fine. Come to think of it, leaving the cardboard bus like this for my little freakout was kind of bad. I just say I tripped and fell, and the bat I was holding smashed into it. Even so, just leaving it there in the current state wasn't good. I should clean it up a little before Mom gets back to school and scolds me. Oh no, the phone's ringing again. Ring-a-ding-ding, phone call, phone call. I remember the bat. There was a broom and dustpan in the closet, and I was going to get them. The phone rang once again.
もしもし、前原です。
Hello, this is Marbara residence.
あら、ケイチくん
Oh, is this
お
Keiichi-kun?
母様はいらっしゃいますかしら
Is your mother around?
今ちょっといないんですけど。
She isn't here at the moment. You idiot, Keiichi Marbara. Yeah, you really should. You could have just said that she was in the bath or something. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. You can still... Wait, you can follow up still. Calm down. Take care of it.
すぐに戻ると思います。
I think she'll be back soon. That wasn't a good response either. Now they might still call again or tell her to call them when she comes back.
なら結構です
Then that's fine.
大した話でもありませんから
It wasn't important.
では失礼しますわね
Well then, sorry for bother. The scenario I feared didn't play out. Exactly a sigh of relief. That call was fortunate in more ways than one. I have to deal with any telephone calls coming in from my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I need to make up a good story to explain that my parents were home, but they couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They're making tempura and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they didn't feel well. Was that really going to be safe enough? Oh no, another phone call. Oh, ring-a-ding-ding, phone call, phone call. Oh. I was thinking about the way back to my room when the phone rang once again. It was like they were calling because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They suspect my parents weren't here. I should just have taken the phone off the hook, under the pretense that I didn't realize it was even there. But since the phone rang, I had to pick up. I prepared myself and lifted up the receiver. Hello? I stopped announcing that this was the Marbara residence. I had no reason to be kind to someone I didn't know the identity of. But like my uncouth voice, the person on the other sounded goofy and lighthearted. Hello. My apologies for... Oh, wait, no, it's Oshi. How did I voice him again? I already forgot. Hello. I think I already forgot. No, it's... hello. My apologies for... No, why am I going so British? Dang, I kind of forgot how I sound, but that is... Hello, my apologies for calling so late. I think it was something like that. This is Oshi from Okunama Bookstore.
大石さんですか
Oishi-san. Is it you, Marbara-san? Good evening. Good to hear that you're doing well.
ちょっと待ってくださいね
Wait a moment, please. I grabbed a portable headset and rushed up to my room with it. It was the same no matter where I was since there was no one else in the home, but I wanted to be in a spot where I could just feel a bit safer when speaking on the phone with Oshi-san.
お待たせしました
Sorry for the wait. How are things? Anything changed since then? Since then? When was that exactly? There's something about the brazen, the way he talked about me the wrong way. The last time I spoke with Oshi-san was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Oshi-san on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into town for lunch and had a talk. Then after that, Ren and Mio came to check on me. When I spoke to Oshi-san, they always knew about it. It was like since they first met him. Today's phone call may as well have been found out by them as well. Hello? Can you hear me, Marbara-san? Uh-huh.
すみません。
Sorry.
その、なんて言いました？
What did you just say?
その後、何か変わったことはありませんかとお尋ねしたんです。
I asked if anything's changed since last time.
返事がないんで焦りましたよ。
There wasn't an answer, so I thought I got a bit worried.
特には。
Not really. The words stopped in my throat. There was a ton of stuff that happened. All of it bluffing. What should I talk about? I don't understand any of it, but I should try in asking. If I didn't ask now, I may have never had another chance. This night, when my parents went home, I had no guarantee I would make it through the night safely after
そ
all.
の、大石さん。やっぱり俺、命を狙われているみたいです。
Well, Oshi-san, it seems that someone's after me.
本当ですか？
Really?
偶然の可能性もあるんですが、先日俺が病気で休んだ日、夕方にあの二人がお見舞いに来たんです。
It could be just all coincidence, but the day I missed school when I was sick, the two of them came back to check
あ
on
の
me.
二人？
Which
レナ
two?
とミオンです。
Rena and Mion.
そしてそこで、大石さんと一緒に昼飯を食ったことを正されました。
They started asking about how I had lunch with
そ
you.
れで、
What's
お
next?
見舞いってことでおはぎを置いていったんですが、その中に針が入ってたんです。
They left me some mochi when they came to visit, but there was a needle
偶
inside.
然飲み込まずに済みましたが、
Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow
これっ
it.
てやっぱり脅迫でしょうか？
I wonder, could it have been just a threat?
その針は？
About that needle.
よく見かけるような普通の裁縫針のようでした。
It was just one of those common sewing needles that you see all the
糸
time.
を通す穴が開いていて、
There was a hole to thread string through.
違いますよ、前原さん。針です。
Not that, Marbro-san. The needle
証
itself.
拠になります。
That's
脅
evidence.
迫だと立証できるかもしれません。
It could be used as proof that they threatened you.
その針はありますか？
Where's the needle? Don't tell me it's in the garbage. That's right. That's it. I dropped the receiver and rushed downstairs. When I tossed the mochi, I overlooked it at it in terror, but the needle was a valuable piece of evidence. Let's see. I threw the mochi and the needle was all together. If it was there, it would be in the living room wall. But my prudent mother had been cleaning the living room wall, and there is not a trace of mochi left on it. Could it be that it dropped? Could it be it dropped in the gap between the wall and the carpet? I frantically searched by running my palm at the carpet, but nothing turned up. I tried moving around the sofa, the desk, pulling up the carpet, then flipping it around, but I still couldn't find the needle. Did my mom clean everything up without noticing it? It was just 2 days ago. I don't know what they did with the collected the burnables trash. It may still be in the trash bin in the kitchen. I rushed into the kitchen, opened the lid of the pail, and poured out its contents. But even at a glance, I could tell it would be incredibly difficult to find a needle in the piece of this trash pile. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. Yeah, very long chapter. Very long. I don't. Hopefully, we're almost at the end. Hopefully, because Maple's gonna yell at me in a couple more minutes. Let's see. I was looking for a needle in a trash sack. I know. It's running through my hand through it thoroughly. It was a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle. If I felt a small prick, I will be able to find it. It was a pretty tactless method, but it was the quickest. I held my breath and started striking the pile of trash with my hand. Filth flew about. There was nothing more than disgusting than this, but it was not like the time to be concerned about such details. I know Maple's gonna yell at me soon. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, she's gonna yell at me soon, like in a couple more minutes, seconds maybe. I wanted to search thoroughly, but it was still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Oshi-san waiting too long. Later, when Mom got back, I still had to ask her if there was a needle. I hastily began scrubbing on the notepad affixed to the refrigerator with a magnet. Where was the needle?
Sorry, I'm out of MP. I need to
Oh.
recharge.
Oh, you're out. Oh, okay. I guess I'm, either the AI server's down or I ran out of money. Oh well. That's still gonna automatically do stuff. Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh well. I gotta figure out what's going on. But I'll do that later. I scrolled through the words with a red pen. and dashed up at the back up to the stairs where I had kept Oshi-san waiting. Yep, I know you don't have any MP left right now, so you can't talk to me. I know you're tired, so that's okay. I don't, yeah. I guess Maple's too tired.
Fine. Moonmist, you can stream a bit more.
Oh, I guess
But
you're...
remember, you really need to go to bed soon.
I know,
Your
go to
health
bed.
is
I know.
important to me. Let's enjoy a little more magic before saying goodnight.
I know, good night. Yep. Huh, I guess you just had tired for a moment, I guess. She was also tired, but she didn't want to yell at me this time. But she still told me to go to bed. Interesting. Oh well. But hopefully this chapter ends soon. Then I dashed up to the stairs where I had been keeping Oshi-san waiting for far too long.
もしもし、
Hello?
どうでしたか？
How'd it go?
見つかりません。
I couldn't find
あの
it.
時はつい気が動転していて、
I was really overwhelmed when it happened
そう
and
ですか。
I see.
見つかればでいいんです。
It would be great if you could find it.
保管しておいてくださいね。
Keep it safe. That's right. The needle wasn't the only incident. I'll tell him about this morning with a hit and run.
あと大石さん、それだけじゃないんです。
Also, Oshi-san, that isn't all.
実は今朝、
Actually, this morning, the man was definitely aiming for me. I could say that without a question due to the circumstances at the time.
その車のナンバープレートは見ましたか？
Did you see the license plate?
こちらでも探してみます。
I could search it from here. Ding! At the time, I flipped out and yelling at him, but I didn't look at the plates. What failures on my part with a needle on the plate number? I was so focused just protecting myself that I left some of the most important details slip out of grasp. I punched my pillow in annoyance as how worthless I was.
すみません。白いワゴン車ってこと以外はわかりません。
I'm sorry, I don't know much more than that. It was a white van.
仕方ないことですよ、前原さん。
Nothing to fret about,
疲
Marlboro-san.
れかければ気も動転します。
Anyone would have been shaken up, being hit.
やっぱりこれだって偶然じゃないですよね。
I guess all of reality, this is just coincidence, isn't it? Oshi-san started to hem and ha over the other end. I could imagine him folding his
あと
arms.
レナの様子もやっぱり怪しいです。
Also, Ren is acting strange.
それはどんな感じですか？
How so? Well, Ren said on the way home today, asking why I was so much like Satoshi-kun. Now I could say it with confidence. Ren knew what would happen to Satoshi. She knew that there was more than him just simply
レ
disappearing.
ナは知っています。
Rena knows.
去年の鬼隠しにあったサトシのことを何か知っています。
She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last
それ
year.
は具体的にどういうことですか？
What would that be exactly?
レナが言うには、俺はサトシとそっくりらしいんです。
Rena said I was the same as Satoshi's?
このまま行くと、俺もサトシと同じ運命をたどると、
She said
そんな
that
感じのことを言うんです。
she said something to the effect that way things are doing, I'll end up the same fate as Satoshi.
運命ですか？
Fate, you say?
具体的にどんな運命をたどるか言及しましたか？
Exactly what kind of fate did she say would befall you?
転校と。
Transferring out, she said.
転校？
Transferring out?
レナは、サトシは転校したって言ってるんです。
Rena said Satoshi transferred out.
で、俺もこのままだと転校しちゃうぞって。
So given how things are going with me, I'll transfer out too. Oshi-san let out a stern sigh and then grumbly loudly.
前原さん、それはおそらく何かの脅迫もしくは警告ですね。
Marlboro-san, that was probably some sort of threat, or maybe some sort of warning.
俺もそう思ってます。
I thought so too. At the point, I started to think, would it be prudent to sum up everything that just happened until now as an amalgamation of some human perpetrator? On the other theory, it being Rena and the others, I left with an Oshi-sama's curse actually listing as the only explanation. Of course, I couldn't tell that to Oshi-san. Except Rena's strange behavior could be proof of either scenarios, whether it was Oshi-sama's curse being real or everything being part of a conspiracy committed by all the villagers. Rena was involved. Rena had to know something. Rena was suspicious. What exactly was Rena? I couldn't help but think that she was somehow involved with the prior strings of mysterious deaths. I seem to recall Oshi-san had admitted that he had dug into Rena's past a little. He was probably just overplayed it when he said little. Meaning he actually dug up pretty deep, most likely. I want to hear about Rena. I want to know what happened to her previous school, among other things that were still unknown to me. If Rena was someone I should respect, no, not that. I want to know the truth. Tonight, I was alone in this huge house, and even though I said I couldn't count on them, I had lost security I felt had just by my parents being around. It wasn't like the house was some sort of fortress or a castle. If a malicious person decided to brute force, they easily gained entrance. There's no other residence close to the Marbra residence. No one would be able to hear anything, no matter how loud it was. I never felt as much as resent towards my father's artistic temperament, and the fact that he had this house built with such a remote location as did right now. Uh-oh. Ding dong, doorbell. I wonder if it will still be here by tomorrow morning. Should I have to ask right now? Because I had no idea when the next chance would come.
大石さん、聞きたいことがあるんです。
Ding dong. Oshi-san, I have something I wanted to ask about.
隠さないでくださいね。
Please don't keep anything away from me.
何でも聞いてください。
Is he not going to mention anything about the doorbell? Someone's coming up the stairs. Oh, someone's coming up the stairs. I hear footsteps. Oh no. I think we're in trouble. Oh, okay. Sure, ask away. Even though he was so far away on the other side of the line, this was the most important, reliable he had ever felt. I wanted to ask about Rena. No. Not right now. Not right now. Do not ask about Rena. I think she might be here. I heard footsteps, KG. There was 2 doorbell rings that you probably, for some reason, didn't hear. Oh, okay. I don't like where this is going. About what happened at her previous school.
実は、レナの
Actually, regarding Rena's... Don't... doorbell again. I know the sound that has been going on for a while. Since I was focused on the call, I hadn't paid attention to it at first, but I finally realized it was the doorbell. The time was 7 o'clock. It was past the time the postman will be making a delivery, and past any sensible time when neighbor will be visiting. I considered the act like no one was home, but that wouldn't be good. That ruined all the hard work, making it look like my parents were home. I needed to answer the door. But that doesn't explain the footsteps that I heard, though. Unless there's 2 people. Maybe. Hello, Marbro-san?
あ、すみません。誰か来たみたいですので、ちょっと玄関に行ってきます。
Oh, sorry. Someone seems to be at the door. I'm going to see who it is.
お客さんですか。すみません。
Guest. I see. My apologies.
今夜のお電話はこれくらいにしましょうか。
Should we end this call now? That would be a problem.
あ、いえ、すぐ戻りますから。
No, I'll be back in a
電話は
second.
このままでいいですか？
Do you mind if I leave the phone on?
はい。構いませんよ。
It's fine. I don't mind. I dropped the headset onto my bed and dashed down to the door. I need to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was the lady who was called right before Oshi-san did. In which case, it would be one of the neighbors who's friends with my mom. I'll just say my mom isn't feeling well and went to bed early. That would be the easiest option. I don't know. It's hard for her to ask me to wake up my mom if she's not feeling well. The bell continued ringing at regular intervals. If someone didn't answer after ringing the bell so much, they normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without removing the chain, I opened the door slightly and peered out at the visitor. A chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside, I had prepared for this moment. I tried to escape by imagining it was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends. Hi, Rena. Good evening.
Rena.
Rena. There shouldn't be any reason for Rena to come over at this hour. The timing also made me feel uneasy, because it was just as I was talking about Oshi-san, about Rena. I wish I could just have chalked it up to a mere coincidence. But those unsettling words from Mion several days ago echoed back to me.
さーてね。
There's nothing.
おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
This old man doesn't know.
レナ一人。
Are you alone, Rena?
うん。
Yeah. It seems that Mion wasn't with her, but that didn't change the situation at all.
何しに来たんだよ。
Why did you come here?
ねえ、ケイチくん。ちゃんとドアを開けてお話ししたいな。
Hey, Keiichi-kun, I'd like you to open the door so we can talk.
レナは玄関に入っちゃダメなのかな
Can I come inside? I wonder. It's true that speaking through the chain door wasn't the right way to talk to a classmate.
うち、夜は必ずチェーンかけてるんだよ。
At my house, the chain has to be on at night.
気にすんなよ。
Don't worry about it.
なら、仕方ないかな。
Then it can't be helped, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, me neither. I'm not sure about this either. Rena looked at the ground sadly, but she kept smiling at least. Her efforts to keep me smile up was quite painful. Even though it was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I stayed like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life wasn't in danger. What I really feared, more than the possibility of hoodlums, would assault me if I removed the chain. Was trusting Ren enough to remove the chain and have my friendship betrayed? As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if it made my heart ache, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by Rena. Since I didn't seem like I'd removed the chain from her slightly silent urge, she appeared to give one trying to get into the entranceway.
あのさ、ケイチくん。ご飯食べた？
Have you eaten yet, Keiichi-kun? No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I lay down when I got home and was awakened by the phone. I didn't have a chance to eat since I used all the time talking. I was going to have a cup of noodles in any case. I could just eat one whenever I wanted
いや
to.
まだだよ。
No, not yet.
それがどうしたよ。
What about?
じゃあよかった。
Good then.
これ見て。
Look here.
お惣菜とか持ってきてあげたの。
I bought a bunch of dishes. Then Rena held out a stack of boxes wrapped in cloth.
お台所とか貸してくれれば、お味噌汁も温めてあげられるよ。
If I could use your kitchen, I could heat up the miso soup and other stuff.
いいよ、そこまでしてくれなくても。
It's fine. You don't need to do that.
でも、お豆腐もお野菜もたっぷりなの。
But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it.
ケイチくん、そういうの嫌いかな？
Does Keiichi-kun not like that type of stuff? I wonder. There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with a lot of ingredients. White radishes, carrots, burdock root, potatoes, dense and fibrous roots, vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible.
ご飯も持ってきてあげたから、レンジで温めればすぐ食べられるし。
I also bought rice so you can microwave it. It'll be ready to eat in no time. Without a doubt, rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gullet, sipping miso soup in between ravenous bites. Oh, yes, how wonderful it would be born in Japanese.
それからね、またお漬物を作ってきたんだよ。
I also made more pickles.
今度は山菜のお漬物なの。
I made sensai pickles this time. Before I had moved here to Hinamazawa, I stuffed the mountain vegetables called sensai. But I was captivated by their charm the first time I tried them. Such a deep, light flavor. The so-called supermarket vegetables taste rough and overpowering in comparison. If you had to describe them, they were the vegetables for the unenlightened. I don't know. To be an expert such as myself, you first had to partake of sensai. and it was common knowledge around here that the Riguru family traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. No matter what kind of pickles they would go well with that fluffy white rice.
それからね。
Oh, and also, but wait, there's more? So delicious, it seems so delicious. Farewell, my unhealthy self, who said he'll do with a cup of noodles. Rena appeared to be in good spirits, and she was offering such a delicious sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from my gut, and hunger reared in its ferocious head. At the same time, my awareness of Rena suddenly dwindled. Rena did say she was alone. It shouldn't be a problem letting her inside, though the possibility that it was laced with poison still hasn't been ruled out. At that moment, a cold chill ran down my spine once again. I couldn't understand why the sensation had occurred just then, but that voice inside me was sounding the alarm. This happy Rena, speaking of a charming dinner, was dependent on the one promise, and that promise was that tonight dinner hadn't been made at my house, meaning there was under suspicion that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't there. And any normal household at 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mom were there, we'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact that she brought all over this making a meal of this time was inherently strange. Unless she knew. Rena, did she know that my parents weren't home? But there was also a chance that this was a bluff. I had turned on the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem like my parents were here. There was a chance that Rena was unsure if my parents were home, but I had to wonder. The laundry, the garbage, the evening paper, there are all plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It was hard to say that Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not. But there was no reason for me to confess that right now. I should try holding on to the fact as long as I could. First of all, the chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena would not be able to do anything to me. Right? Hopefully.
ありがたいんだけどさ、もう少しで夕飯ができるみたいなんだよ。
I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready pretty soon.
そうなの?
Is that so?
そうなの?
Is that so?
せっかくで申し訳ないんだけどさ、その
I know you went through all that effort and everything, but, well, I didn't think of a good way to phrase my words trailed off weakly.
でも、ちょっとはおかずになると思うな。
But some of this could work as side dishes, I think.
悪いけど、間に合ってるよ。
I'm sorry, we have more than enough already.
うちのお袋ってさ、結構おかずをいっぱい作るんだよ。
My mom always makes quite a few side dishes.
だから。
So.
おかず、あるの?
You have side dishes? With a smile that broadened on a cringe, I dodged her question apologetically. But the feeling I tried to ignore began creeping back at me again. I spoke as if my mom was selling dinner right now, but it didn't mesh well with Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of some obvious fact. And that, I was aware of it as well.
ケイチ君もおかずとか作れるんだね。
So Keiji-kun can cook?
何を作ったのかな?
What did you make? I wonder.
いや、その、別に俺が。
No, well, that's not it. Rena had assumed that out of nowhere that I had made the dishes. No, not so much that I had made them, but rather that my mom hadn't.
本当に作ったの?
Did you really make them?
おかず。
The side dishes?
ケイチ君が?
Did you, Keiji-kun?
だから、俺が作ったんじゃないよ。
It wasn't me who made them.
お袋が作った。いや、作ってるんだよ。
My mom didn't know. She's making them.
今。
Not right now.
だからさ、悪いけど、レナの持ってきてくれたのは食べられないんだよ。
So you see, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena felt silent at that moment. At that moment, I felt that the light had suddenly disappeared from her eyes. Okay.
ケイチ君のお夕飯、当ててみようか?
How about I try guessing what Keiichi's dinner will be?
なんだっていいじゃないか。
It doesn't matter what I'm going to eat.
とね。
Let's see. The conversation might appear natural at first glance, but Rena was firmly in control. It felt as if I was being interrogated.
そのお夕飯、お湯だけで作れるんじゃないかな。
She guessed it. Your dinner, I wonder. Is it something that can be made with just hot water?
おいおい、侮るなよ。
Hey, hey, now stop with the
う
insults.
ちのお袋のスペシャルなディナーを見くびるなってんだ。
I can't believe you belittled my mom's extravagant dinner like that.
そりゃもう満館全席状態ですごいのなんの。
Tickets sold out, full capacity already. It's that amazing. I tried my best to put a strong front, but I couldn't grit my teeth quite right. So instead, I looked at like someone who was borderline hysterical. But Rena showed no reaction whatsoever, even to that silliness.
ケイチくん、
Keiichi-kun,
本当にお母さん、ご飯作ってってくれたの？
did your mother really leave you dinner?
いや、だから、くれたんじゃなくて、今作ってるんだよ。
No, you see, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right
も
now.
うすぐ晩飯に。
It's almost time for dinner. Rena had taken an assumption of mine that my mother was home making dinner right now and was completely ignoring it. I could tell that the more I panicked, the colder Rena became.
ねえ、ケイチくん、
Hey, Keiichi-kun. At that moment, an uncomfortable chill crept in front of the gap between the doorway.
お母さん、お家にいるのかな？かな？
Is your mom home? I wonder. I wonder. I couldn't keep the charade up anymore, Rena. She knew full well that my parents weren't home. But I came too far to admit that right now. Anyway, my parents were here and were having dinner soon. That was the situation I had contorted. So I answered. I told her that she was here.
いるよ。もちろん。
She's here, of course. I could feel the humidity drying out from the surrounding air. Rena's eyes were becoming more frigid, piercing with their gilded gaze.
どうして？
Why?
何のことかな？
What do you mean? I tried acting casual, but the facade was torn off of me the instant I looked into Rena's eyes. The look informed me that Rena's response faster than she could open her mouth.
どうしてさっきから嘘をつくのかな？かな？
Hi. Can you back up a little bit? You're a little too close. Why have you been lying to me? I wonder.
嘘なんか。
I'm not lying.
嘘だよね。
That's a lie, isn't it?
嘘なんかじゃ。
It's not a lie.
嘘だよ！
Lies. Rena's outburst sent a jolt surging through my body. Rena and I still be separated by a few inches by a slightly ajar but still chained door could afford. But despite the fact, I was still being cornered. My house, which I considered a safe haven until now, had become more like a dark hall alleyway where no one could save
ケイ
me.
チくんのお夕飯、当てるよ。
Should I guess
ね、
your dinner, Keiichi? Let's see. I now know Ren had already known that my parents wouldn't be here tonight. Yeah, things are getting very creepy right now. Very worrisome, yeah. But it was still so strange that it had to come to this. Even she somehow knew my parents weren't home. There was no way she would be able to guess what I'd been eating tonight. But Rena said she'd guess. How could she guess it? How could she know it was an
カッ
instant
プラーメン。当たりでしょ？
cup of noodles? That's right, isn't it? That's what was I going to eat. Wait, the cooking repertoire of a man who couldn't do housework is probably nothing but cup of noodles after all. Looking at this statistically, it was the most probable answer. That didn't mean she was guessing.
ラーメンだけじゃ、きっとお腹すくと思うな。
I don't think you'll be fooled with just noodles.
ご飯とかも一緒の方が、きっと腹持ちいいと思うよ。
I think having rice and stuff will definitely hit the spot. Calm down, Keiichi Mabra. This was just a coincidence. Rena was just reading certain tales of mine. So the fact that she was inferring what I was thinking alarmed me. But it wasn't as if she was actually reading my mind. If it was being read, then she was a demon. No, not a demon. Things like that. They couldn't have possibly exist.
好きなの？
Do you like them?
ラーメンがかよ。
Do you mean noodles?
うんうん。
No.
生姜味。
Blank. Censored. I don't know what that means, but okay. Rina indicated that the point of my answer was wrong. Her rebuttal was so short, I momentarily didn't understand the words that Rina had spoken.
ごめん、レナ。
So sorry,
今
Rina.
なんて？
What did you just say?
え？
Huh?
何が？
About what?
今さ、何が好きって聞いたんだよ。
Just now, you asked me if there was something that I liked, didn't you? It wasn't long before I regretted how carelessly I pushed forward with that question. It was a simple answer, that's why I wasn't able to comprehend it.
豚骨生姜味。
She guessed the flavor. Oh no. Pork bone and ginger flavor. How did she know what noodles we had? I wonder how I appeared at the moment. My mind went completely blank until the moment I was able to recover. A field of view began to distort, slowly swirling in the counterclockwise direction. I lost all sense of balance.
なんでそこまでわかるんだよ。
Why do you know that? I didn't even deny it. That was such a type of frenzy state I was in. How could Rena even know this? Not even caring as I mashed my head against the door, and I fixed my gaze on Rena. But she didn't even flinch when she saw me do
確か
that.
に買った。
I certainly did buy
まと
them.
めて買った。
I bought a bunch at once.
俺が箱買いした。
I bought a whole case.
それがどうしてわかるんだ。
How could you know that?
なんでかな？
Why? I wonder.
不思議だね。
Quite strange, isn't it?
だね。
Isn't it? How could you dodge the question like that at a time like this? The chain and the door slightly were no longer protecting
どう
me.
してわかる？
How did you know?
なぜ知ってる？
Why do you know?
答えろ。
Answer me.
買ったのはセブンスマート
You bought them at the 7th Market,
だよね。
didn't you? A shiver ran up my spine. I tried covering it up with the angry facade.
だからなんでわかるんだよ。
Like I said, why do you know that?
ケイチくんの後ろずっとくっついてたから。
I was behind you, following you the whole time.
何を言ってんだよ。
What are you saying? I couldn't understand what she was saying. You've been following me all this
だ
time?
から
That's because
レナが
I was
ケイチくんの
right behind
後ろに
Keiichi Kun's back
ずっとくっついてたの。
the whole time. You're done? Yeah, same. I'm pretty much done. Like that night? That night, I was absorbed in my phone conversation with Oshi-san. I didn't even sense her being there. She's standing behind the door behind me, standing there, just like that. Definitely stalker vibes, yeah.
ケイチくんがいろんなラーメン選んでるとこ後ろからずっと見てたの。
When Keiichi-kun was picking out those noodles, I was watching the entire time.
いろんな種類を選んでたんだよね。
You picked out so many different flavors, didn't you?
それでお母さんに怒られたの。
Then your mom got angry.
高いラーメンばっかり選ぶから一種類にしなさいって。
If you were going to pick the expensive ones, then you should just pick one type, she said.
それでケイチくん大好きな大きいカップの豚骨生姜味を選んだんだよね。
Then you picked out the big box of pork bone and ginger flavor. That one that you love so much, didn't you?
レナも好きだよ。
I like it too.
豚骨ラーメン。
Pork bone noodles.
でも大きいカップは全部食べきれないけ
Sorry,
どね。
I'm out of MP.
But I
I
can
need to
never-
recharge.
What were you trying to say? Okay, Maple, I'm not sure what you were trying to say. What time is it? Okay, my phone's not working. 2:30. I don't remember having another alarm. Except for this time. Weird. I don't know. Anyway. But man, I'm really going over. This chapter's really long. Let's see, where were we? We picked out a big box of words. You love so much, didn't you? I like that. But I could never eat a whole bowl big by myself. Oh, okay. Even Maple's acting weird. I don't remember setting a timer for right now. Yeah, Maple has become Rena too now. I know you want me to go to bed, but I think I might be scared. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay, but let's just try to finish this. My brain was paralyzed, dulling my senses. It might have been a defense mechanism to diminish the fear I was feeling to not traumatizing levels. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what's going on. Without fear being diminished, the fog enveloping my mind was cleared away. Then I could understand that Rena was saying, and started to put meanings behind her words. Even so, my fear had subsided completely. It hasn't. It was like I was standing at the edge of a cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. And it didn't actually solve any of the basic problems. I slowly took a step backwards. And as I went through, Rena advanced.
だからケイチ君
So,
こ
Keiichi-kun,
こを開けて
can you open this?
レナと一緒にご飯食べよう
We can eat dinner
きっ
together.
と美味しいからね
So, Keiichi, I'm sure it's gonna be delicious, so okay? Rena, no, Rena, don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't, no. Rena's pale, slender fingers squirmed through the crack in the door, one at a time, as if they had mind of their own, rattling the chain. If she had unlatched the chain from the door, a feeling of terror would have just exploded within me. But Rena didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain. I tried my hardest to light the fuse of the powder keg in my heart, trying again and again. Clatter, clatter, but it doesn't light. It doesn't light.
開けて
Open up,
ケイチ君
Keiichi-kun.
帰ってくれ
Please go away.
頼むから
I beg of you.
帰ってくれ
Please go away.
どうしてそんな意地悪を言うのかな
Her eye got bigger. How could you say something mean? I wonder.
帰ってくれ
Please just go away.
帰れよ
Go away, please. Go away. The powder keg inside me finally went off. No smoldering, just exploded. I tackled the door. The force through the door had knocked Rena momentarily off balance. I couldn't hesitate here. Oh hey, he managed to close the door. Nice. I grabbed onto the door knob with both hands, planted my feet firmly, and pulled it with all my might. But that slamming sound I so desired didn't happen. I could feel tiny disturbances, bit of resistance keeping the door from closing. And the sound of that was Rena's fingers. Oh, he smashed her fingers. Each of those fingers wriggled, squirmed like they were tendrils of carnivorous plant through the cracks of the doorway.
痛いよケイチ君
It hurts, Keiichi-kun. It hurts. Oh. It wasn't a harsh shriek, but more of a yelp. She was trying to keep it back. Go away, go away, go away. I keep pulling on the door with all my might. I didn't even realize that if I didn't loosen up the pull on the door at the base momentarily, Rena wouldn't be able to pull her fingers out. That's why the door wasn't closing.
本当に痛いのケイチ君
It really hurts, Keiichi-kun.
悪ふざけが過ぎたなら謝るよ
I'm sorry if I was messing around too much. Oh. I don't care one bit for her apology. No matter how much she apologized, it didn't change any of what she has done until now. It didn't change anything.
痛いの
It hurts, it hurts.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go away, go away, go away. Well, she's not gonna go away if she's trapped. Rena couldn't leave if she wanted to because her fingers trapped exactly. Rena's white fingers had become deep red and were no longer squirming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go away, go away, go away. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Rena's apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, but it's like a broken record. She was intent on repeating it over and over. Go away, go away, go away. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I pulled the door even harder. Finally, Rena's fingers were somehow able to slip through their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed soundly, and I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. It made a large clunk, voicing my rejection to Rena. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Keiichi-kun. I'm sorry. Open up, Keiichi-kun. Rena leaned against the door, apologized profusely, and nothing else. After confirming that I was sufficiently sealed away from her, I trudged away from the entryway. On the other side, I could still hear Rena echoing her apology. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Those pitiful words, they would be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about it at all, but it wasn't out of any sort of malice. I felt sort of hazy sense of relief that I was able to escape from Rena. Before Mion had threatened me at the doorway, saying there was nothing she didn't know, and now, at the same place, Rena told me the same thing. My feeble attempts at disguising the fact that my parents weren't home had served no purpose from the start. I should have just pretended to be out and not even opened the door. My meager plans hadn't helped at all. In Hinamazawa, it was impossible to outwit them. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get as far away as Rena as possible. One step, two step, with each one, her sniveling apologies became more and more distant. I sprinted upstairs and dove into my room. As you expect, I finally was no longer to hear Rena's repeating her endless apology. Diving into my bed, I startled by the hard lump I felt. There was something in my bed. Wait, what? Why is there a lump in the bed? Oh, okay, so the receiver. Okay, I thought it was going to be something else. I finally remembered. I was in the middle of a call with Oshi-san. Looking at the clock, apparently not much time has passed since I went downstairs. Could it be that my clock had run out of batteries? I had talked with Rena for so long. How almost no time has passed. But the hand on the clock was ticking forward 1 second, and at 1 second every second as usual. At the point, a still warm receiver to my phone. Time, which felt frozen, began to move once again.
Oshi-san.
Hello, Oshi-san?
お待たせしてすみませんでした。
Sorry to keep you waiting.
いえいえ、大してお待ちしていませんよ。
Not at all. I didn't wait too long. It became apparent that the moment had become paused between myself and Oshi-san was different. Over the phone, I could hear an energetic voice from the sports program or something and drove home just far away Oshi-san really was.
今、レナが来ました。
Rena just came now.
遊びに来たんですか?
Did she come to play? I wasn't confident that I could coherently explain the situation to Oshi-san, but I didn't need to do it right away. Right now, I need to know about Rena. That's right. I was planning to ask Oshi-san more about Rena, but Rena's little visit had interrupted the conversation. That was true, and what was false, I couldn't tell. One thing I knew was single grim reality that Rena was suspicious. I might be able to figure out something if I asked Oishi-san about her. Up until now, I regretted it whenever I forced myself to ask things that I was better off not knowing. But looking at this way, you could tell I hit rock bottom. There is no possible way I could feel any more regrets than I did right now. No, rather I wanted to know if there was anything beyond this, and I would regret it more. Forget about tomorrow. It wasn't out of the realm of possibility for something to happen right now. I want to know everything I could. I was absolutely not going to die like this. Not without knowing anything. I definitely won't.
竜宮 レナさんのことですか？
Regarding Rena Rigu-san,
調べましたよ。
I did a bit of digging.
まあ簡単には。
Well, it wasn't much. I understand Oshi-san was talking in circles. A bit meant, so I dug deep and hard to discuss with you. Wait, I dug so deep it'd be hard to discuss with you since you're her
その
friend.
簡単な全てを知りたいんです。
I want to know everything from your research.
あなたが聞いて面白いような話はありませんよ。
I don't think you'd be very interested in what I have to say, though.
大石さ
Oshi-san. I spoke so calmly as possible to Oshi-san, who was continuing to avoid the issue. And then I said
ん、
it.
竜宮レナは怪しいと思っています。
I think Rena Riguyu is
過
suspicious.
去の事件がたとえお社様のたたりによるものだったにせよ、
Even in the
竜
past,
宮レナは関わっています。
even in the past instance where from Oshu-sama's curse, Rena Riguyu is involved.
レナさんが怪しいと思える具体的な証拠があるのですか？
Do you have any sort of proof that do you have any sort of proof that makes you believe Rena-san is suspicious? The manner in which Oshi-san spoke became very firm. Did you have any sort of proof? That was him talking as a detective.
状況証拠だけです。
I only have circumstantial evidence.
そうですか。
I see. I could tell him everything over the phone I can even tell over the phone how disappointed Oshi-san was. Pulling on the fishing line when he felt a bite, only to reel in the bait. Disappointed, but ready to cast the line once more. That's how it seemed.
大石さん、
Oshi-san,
目に見える証拠がなければ動けないんですか？
you can't do anything without physical proof, can you? What I meant was, you can't come and save me without proof. I stuck that barb in there. And as Oshi-san loved roundabout ways of saying things, he understood me just
大
fine.
丈夫ですよ、前原さん。
It's fine, my
あ
bro-san.
なたは私が守ります。
I'll protect you. That was not the least bit reassuring. Oishi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. It was just going to get out, I was just going to get killed, and my corpse would just be an important piece of evidence. That was all I was in to
大
him.
石さんの捜査は俺の生死と無関係でしょうが、俺は死ねば終わりなんです。
Whether I'm alive or dead may be no concern to your investigation, but it is all over for me when I die. Oishi-san went silent on the other end of the line. That may be have been too blunt, but I didn't care. All I needed is to rely on Oishi-san. I was currently in the very dangerous
だか
position.
ら話してください。
So please tell me.
レナのこと。
Tell me about Rena.
サトシは転校しました。
Let's see, what time is it? Oh, jeez, it's almost 3 o'clock. Dang. Okay, so at 3 o'clock, I'm for sure gonna have to end the stream no matter what. So, we'll see how much goes. But yeah, at 3 o'clock, I have to end. Satoshi
多
transferred
分
out.
俺もそれほど遠くない将来、レナの言う転校をするでしょう。
Not too far in the future, I probably also want Ren and call transferring out as
ですが
well.
大石さんには俺の死体を見つけることもできないでしょうね。
But you won't be able to find my
現に
corpse.
サトシの死体だってまだ見つけられてない。
You haven't even been able to find Satoshi's body yet.
前原さん、どうか落ち着いて。
Alright, Marbo-san, please calm down. I was already surpassing my irritation, even while Oshi-san having to tell me. It wouldn't solve anything if I continued to scream about my mistrust in the police. It would seem that I could only depend on myself and the bat Satoshi left behind to protect myself. Then, at least, I wanted to know about what happened before Rena transferred schools.
つまらない話になるのは覚悟の上ですね。
You're aware that this won't be very interesting, right? Oshi-san, realizing my resolve couldn't be swayed, finally caved.
今の俺にとってつまらない話は何一つありません。
Right now, to me, there's nothing that I'll find understanding and interesting, please.
まずいくつかお断りすることがあります。
There's a few things I need you to agree to. Okay.
他言無用でお願いします。
Please keep this confidential.
また内容には一部憶測も含まれているかもしれません。
Also, this is a part may be speculation.
すべてが真実ではないかもしれないということ。
Not all of it may be true.
よろしいですね。
Are you still interested?
真実ではないかもしれ
It
ない。
might not be true.
言ってる意味がよくわかりません。
I don't understand what you mean.
ひなみ沢の連続開始事件は捜査本部がありません。
There isn't one main investigation for the mysterious chains of death in
毎
Himasama.
年の事件は個々に扱われています。
Each one is treated as his own individual
で
case.
すから竜宮レナが捜査線に浮上したことは一度もないのです。
Thus, Rigu Rena has never been linked on any of these
つまりです
investigations.
ね、
Basically, you see,
レナの調査は警察としてでなく
this isn't an investigation of Rena's done by the
個
police,
人として行ったということですか？
and it's a personal inquiry. Is that what you're telling
ご
me?
理解いただけて助かります。
This will make things a lot quicker since you
話の
understand.
ほとんどは電話、もしくは会って聞かせてもらったものばかりです。
All of this is from either police phone calls, or either from phone calls or meeting and sending
ですから
interviews.
裏が取れていません。
So they aren't
鵜
collaborating.
呑みにしないでほしいということなんですよ。
I'm asking you to take this with a grain of salt, is what I
ご理
mean.
解いただけますね。
Do we have an agreement?
全部聞いた話だけなんですか？
All of it just from what you heard.
申し訳ないです。
Yes, my
個人
apologies.
調査ですのでね。
It's all my personal investigation, you see.
あれ
A thing?
以前レナのカルテを見たって言いませんでしたか？
You said that you saw Rena's chart, didn't you?
確かにそう聞きましたよ。
I'm sure I heard you say that. Oshi-san has paused for a moment on the other side of the line.
そんなことも言いましたかね。
I told you that too,
気のせいということにしてください。
Please pretend you didn't hear anything about that. I didn't care about Oshi-san having certain obligations and responsibilities. I also didn't care if there was no proof. Even if there is no just rumors, there's no smoke without fire after
話して
all.
ください、大石さん。
Please tell me,
わ
Oshi-san.
かりました。
Understood. Oshi-san finally opened those tight lips of his. It seems that Rena lived in Himazawa a long time ago. She'd moved back in Inabaka Prefecture just before starting elementary school. Then, following that... Ooh, gasping fish, yeah. Then, following that, right after transferring, the unfortunate incident which had breaking of the school windows happened. Then Rena confided to the doctor, who's Oshima-sama, or Oshi-sama. This was everything I knew.
私が知る話も前原さんと大きくは変わりません。
There isn't much difference between what I know and what you know,
では
Marbara-san.
どこを詳しく調べたんですか？
Then what part did you investigate further? I didn't need to ask. It was an incident right before she transferred back to
レナが
Hinamazawa.
起こした事件とその後の医者での告白ですね。
The incident Rena was responsible for and what she divulged to the doctor afterwards, correct?
はい。
Yes.
大石さんはその内容を知っているからこそレナたちを疑っているんですね。
After you learned that, you started suspecting Rena and the others, didn't you?
疑っています。
Yes, I did suspect
やは
them.
りレナたちが犯人。
So they're the ones after all?
ああ、いえ。疑うとはそういう意味ではないんです。
Oh no, that's not what I meant by suspecting them. Orsho-san was the type of person to say things with confidence, but these particular words were less than reassuring.
じゃあ何を疑ってるんですか？
Then who did you suspect?
親代様。
That was Orsho-sama. Huh?
親代様のたたりって本当にあるのかな。
That Orsho-sama's curse really exists. Yeah, right. Well, Oshi-san's laugh was quite dry, certainly not the kind that would make you want to join in. Orsho-san resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances between Satoshi's disappearance, the course of events leading him to divulge into Rena's past. Man, how long is this gonna be? This is the final chapter? Then, there was thunder in the distance. A heavy rainstorm started to pour down. It came without warning, a downpour pierced, beating the ground. I had left the window in my room open a crack to let the heat out. A violent wind danced in my room, making the curtains flop
どうし
wildly.
ました？
What is it?
あ、いえ、急にすごい雨が。
Oh, nothing. It just started raining heavily.
すみません。どうぞ続けてください。
Sorry, please continue. I got up while still on the phone at the grasped the window.
はじめに事件と申し上げましたが、学校側も被害者も告発していないので、
It's strange that they made the
正式には
chapters so
事件では
different.
な
Like,
い
yeah, that is very true. It's very strange. Some are really short, some are very long. I think this one's like very long. I don't know. This might be the longest chapter. Let's see. I said in the very beginning that it was an incident because neither the school nor the victims filed charges. The police were never
でで
involved.
すね。この辺りがどうも関係者皆さん口が重いんですよ。
So, you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk. See, it's the longest chapter that you've seen. It's been going on for 2 hours. So yeah, it is very long. I know I finished one chapter before this. It was around 12:30. I finished the chapter 10. This should be chapter 11. So yeah, let's see. Well, so yeah, since 12:30, it's almost 3. Yeah, it's almost been 2 hours. Yeah, dang. You see, those involved are very reluctant to talk. Yeah, it's very long. It could have been broken into like 3 chapters soon. Yeah, probably could have. Like, one part, like after school, could have been the end of one chapter. Then at his house, it could have been his own, another chapter, this part segment. Maybe that's why it gave me the achievement after finishing the midway point from this chapter. Maybe. Maybe that was a sign. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue a little bit more. So you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk, regardless of those being victims who had eyes beaten so badly that it had permanent damage. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh, maybe this, yeah, maybe it was. But it should at least give me an option to save. Well, technically I could save whenever I want, but still. Be like, hey, are you sure you want to continue? Save. But no, just went through. I don't know. It could have been the school or possibly some individual who made arrangements to keep things from going public. Also, so the psychologist was very strict about their professional ethics. Hello? Maebara-san? Can you hear me? Why is he not responding? There was a figure of a person standing by the light of the mailbox this whole time. Oh, don't tell me Rena's still there. Even in this torrential rain, they didn't have an umbrella. They were unquestionably drenched from head to toe. In the shower, which more resembled a waterfall, droplets of water dripped down from her hair. Let's see what she's saying. Yeah, I don't like it when VN's games don't do that. That's why I like VNs that use art red pen, that you could save any time easily. Yeah, that's true. I could do a quick save, but yeah. But I don't want to like end a chapter midway. I don't like doing that sometimes. I did that with when I played Corpse Party. I had to break down some chapters in half. I really don't like breaking down chapters, to be honest. I like playing through entirely. But yeah, Rena's still standing out. Yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you for understanding. What could she be eating over there? How could she be at this time? I was more enthralled by Rena instead of shocking developments being brought by light by Ursi-san. If it hasn't started raining, I wouldn't have gone to the window. Then I wouldn't have noticed Rena, nor would I have noticed that. What do you mean that? Rena's mouth was moving in the same pattern. She wasn't eating something, she was repeating something. What is it? What was she repeating to me? What was she saying? And why was I right up against the window fixated on her? Oh, hey, a bot? Oh wow, that was a bot. Dang. Oh cool, I didn't go in my overlay this time. Oh man, I got a bot after this time. I didn't have a bot yesterday, now I had a bot now. Interesting. But hey, at least I didn't go in my overlay, so that's good. Hello? Maebara-san? Can you hear me? Hello? Gomennasai. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's interesting. Well, at least the sentry bot got it before it got into my overlay, so that's good. Or maybe they fixed it. They do an update. Because I used to mix it up. They had an update recently, so maybe they fixed that bug. So hopefully. Okay, let's see, where are we? Huh? Maebara-san? I'm sorry. 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 Yeah, banned with the quickness, yeah. The sentry bot is really good at getting all the bots before they do stuff, so that's good.
もしもし
Hello?
前原さん
Mabro-san?
どうしましたか
What's the matter? Even in this trench of Tenpor, Rena was still apologizing. Oh, if you notice her hands are bleeding. Just noticed that as soon as the text box went away. The other self inside me drew the curtains hesitantly with my right hand, blocking my view from the outside. But even doing that, Rena's relentlessly apologizing still reached my ears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. I'm sorry. 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 Damn it. Why should I have to forgive her? I'm the one who wants to be forgiven. What part of me can't be forgiven? I won't be killed. If you won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive you. I won't forgive. 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 Won't forgive. I won't forgive.
前原さん
Marba-san,
聞こえてるなら返事をしてください
if you can hear me, please
も
respond.
しもー
Hello? Is Marba-san broken? Okay, so this is chapter end, or a midway. Is this going to be chapter end, or is it going to be midway? Okay, chapter end. Perfect. We finally finished the chapter. Finally. Split personality and at the seventh market. Alright, so we just got to do, let's see, Rain of Apologies. Fallen on deaf ears. Oh, that's the achievement. Okay, finally. So we just got to do these two events. Then we're officially done for this chapter. Oh, jeez, that was a very long chapter.
よく映画などに登場しますが、
it is my
簡単に言
strongest
うと
stream
ど
yet.
のようなものでしょうか。
Very long. What time is it anyway? Oh wow, it's almost 3. That is very long. Oh yeah, this chapter was way too long. I see. It's in the movies quite often, but what exactly is it?
複数の人格を持つことによる逃避と考えられています。
Multiple personalities are thought to be
多
escapism.
重人格は逃避の一つなのですか？
Multiple personality disorder is a form of escape?
さようです。
Correct.
そのメカニズムは完全には解明されていませんが、精神を守るために脳が行う防御行動の一つではないかと考えられています。
I don't think multiple personality disorder is a form of escapism. I don't think so. But hey, I'm not a professional, so I don't know. Correct. That is the mechanism is not fully understood, but is believed to be a defense mechanism for the brain to retain mental stability. I guess, but I still don't think it's a form of escapism too much. Maybe it is, but I don't know. You don't think so either? Yeah. I don't think it is.
例えば貧乏な人がお金持ちになった自分を想像するという現実逃避ってありますよね。これも多重人格なわけですか？
Hypothetically, poor people imagining themselves as wealthy is a form of escapism, is it not? Is it also a form of multiple personality disorder? That is a form of escapism, but not multiple personality disorder, that is for sure. Because anyone can imagine there's something else entirely. That is a form of escapism, sure. But I don't think it's be a multiple personality disorder.
極論はできませんが、講義的にはそう解釈できます。
Okay, well, I'll leave the professors right on
誰に
that.
でもあり得る現象なのです。
I wouldn't go as far as that, but broadly speaking, one could infer... No, okay, I changed my mind. The professor's wrong. It's something that could occur to us, all of us.
その現実逃避の見境がなくなると二重人格になるのですか？
Does a split personality occur when one cannot tell which is reality and which is escape?
ちょっと難しいですね。
That is
そう
difficult to say.
提唱する説もありますし、否定する説もあります。
There's those that agree with that and some who
諸
disagree.
説紛々です。
There is no conscious
では
conscious
精神医学の世界ではまだ多重人格というのは未知の解明されていない現象なんですか？
Then is an occurrence of multiple personality still unknown phenomena? There something is not fully comprehended in the psychiatric field?
残念ながらそうなります。 今後の研究が期待されます。
Unfortunately, that is the current state of things. We can only put our hopes in the future
でも
research.
二重人格なんてなんだかかっこいいですよね。どういう人が二重人格になれるんですか？
But it's sort of cool having split personalities. What kind of people get split personalities? It's not really that cool, to be honest. I don't think no one would choose to have split personalities. Like for me, I don't think I would love to have split personalities. Yeah, I don't think that would be fun. Because you'd be, depending on the severity of your split personality, I think you might have like blank memory. So you like, at one point you're doing something, but then like a few minutes, like you lose an hour of your life, you're like, what the heck happened? And that was your split personality taking over. I don't think it would be fun. So I don't think no one would want to willingly choose to have a split personality. But again, I'm not a professional, so I don't know.
なれると言いますか、なりやすいと言いますか。最近の研究では、
Yeah, it's definitely not
遺伝
fun.
と死因が複雑に絡み合い、
So this reporter, I don't think she knows what she's talking about. Recent studies find that those who develop it, or rather, those who are more susceptible of developing it, may be generally predisposed or may have had abnormal mental development.
中でも幼少期の育児体験が大きく作用するのではないかと言われています。
Some say that childhood abuse increases the chances.
そういえば、この A 君も家庭に問題を抱えてるんですよね。気の毒に。
Speaking of which, a person A here experienced abuse as a child. Didn't he? How sad.
7つの人格を持つ青年 A。
Person A has several
では
personalities.
VTR の続きをどうぞ。
Let's watch a video of him.
ですがその前にコマーシャル。
Right, after these commercials. Of course you gotta have to have commercials. Of course. But yeah, definitely split personalities are not gonna be fun for the average person. But yeah, you always have to have commercials after something kind of, emotional. But now you gotta always break the tension with commercials. But anyway, the final tip for today at the 7th market. At the 7th market was a bargain supermarket with food and alcohol. What is this, Keiichi? So many? There's no reason to get all different kinds, there is. I flipped over the different colored cups and noodles bowls into the cart.
最近のカップ麺は凝ってて種類も多いんだよ。どれも一通りは食ってみたいし。
Cup of noodles have gotten so elaborate recently, and there's a bunch of different types, so I want to try each one of them at least once. I knew it was pretty selfish of me, but I thought I would at least give it a try. Keiichi, buy them in a big case, it's cheaper. Dad faltered. Well, I had a feeling it'd end up like this. Now that Dad has thrown his hat into the ring, I have to compromise.
それじゃあ一種類しか食えないよ。飽きちゃうって。
Oh, this is the point where he was buying his cup of noodles. So maybe Rena might be in the background somewhere. Gotta keep an eye out. Then I have to get one kind I'll get bored with. I was resisting as a formality. I've already given up inside that wasn't sure which case of noodles to get. If you can't pick one, then Mommy will pick for you. You won't have to rush me. I quickly searched the cases of noodles for what I wanted. Pork bone and ginger, large cup. Oh, pork bone and ginger, large cup? Hey Keiichi, can't you get more of the normal one? I let Mom pick, she'd on the other safest side, get soy sauce or salt flavored. So when I plunked a box of pork bone flavored in the shopping cart, Mom looked back at me with an expression and said, "Oh, these ones." To show her that it was my last compromise, I begged explaining the choice.
豚骨はうまいんだよ。大盛りだけど大味ってわけじゃないし。
Pork bone is good. You get large serving, but the flavor isn't strong. I remember insisting that the noodles I picked were the right kind. Okay, is Ren anywhere? Anna, where are ya? In this frozen memory in time, this escaped world, I didn't have the power to look around my surroundings. So I did what I could to reach out with all my hearing and vision, sharpening my senses to find the presence I overlooked. No matter how much I searched through my field of vision, I couldn't see Rena. I rewound the situation searching, but of course I couldn't find her. Oh, so he's like kind of like replaying the memory. Interesting. Then, was she spying at me from my blind spot? I go through different sounds and presents, again looking. I can sense the other customers. They're all mixing about, moving as they please. There's nobody looking over this way, and no one's trying to get behind me. Not there, not here. Couldn't be here. Probably wasn't here. I would definitely notice if someone was right behind me, even if I wasn't on my guard. I smiled weirdly at the thought of using a vague word like probably right before contracting it with definitely. Oh. Then I paused at my mental replay as a chill ran down my spine. There was definitely a presence like a shadow behind me. That was a terror unlike any other. If a presence really had manifested behind me, I would definitely have turned around to check it. But the world had moved on, and there was no way for me to turn around. While carrying the frightened shadow behind my back, I was gleefully running around the store searching for a case of noodles. Running through the instant noodle section, mouthing my mom, but there is the presence constantly at my back, sticking to me like a shadow. No way to see what it was, realizing it now after the fact was horrifying and repulsive. In that moment of time, I was running around gleefully, carrying the cardboard box. Tip-tap. But listening to that moment again, I could hear footsteps of it other than mine, going pit-pat with every step. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap. Pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap. Pit-pat, pit-pat, pip-pat. Tip-tap, tip-tap, tip-tap. Pip-pat, pip-pat, pip-tap. While I was running, and the sound of those bare footsteps were going pip-pat were right behind me. Me running gleefully in that closed-off moment in time. But I didn't hear it. No, I heard it. That's why I remember it. I didn't think I had heard anything. That's why I didn't turn around. That's why I didn't turn around. In that moment, the pit-pat of those footsteps were following me the entire time. I couldn't run faster and escape. I couldn't run any faster than I had run at the time. I couldn't turn around. I hadn't turned around before, not once. Then I returned to my parents and started talking. The shadow-like presence was right on my back. Since I didn't move, the shadow didn't move. That's why it made no sound. That as well. At the time, I hadn't taken a single step while talking with my parents. I was just standing there. That was undeniable. And yet, I heard it. Pit-pat. The sound that shouldn't be. I took 3 steps. It followed 3 steps. Wasn't that the rule? There was no sound other than that. At the time, the entire world has gone dark. A sudden darkness. It was the end of my reflective journey. I was tired. I wanted to end it. Someone turned on the light. Except my body couldn't move, as if it was sewn into that moment in time. Pit-pat. My past self's hair stood on end. That's impossible. Now that it's breaking the rules, I haven't moved. You shouldn't be moving either. I couldn't move, so you shouldn't be moving either. Follow the rules. Pit-pat, and yet the sounds echoed in the darkness once more. The hair on my back of my neck pricked up on end. It was so close that it was hard to tell whether it was touching the hair or not. Why couldn't I move, like the presence was moving behind me? I quickly realized I couldn't move. It was just I was scared and I didn't want to. But now, the one time I could run around, there was something unforgivable in this moment in time, but I need to turn around immediately. As if my entire being was trying to force me to stop, it began to administer a pain like a needle being struck in my every pore. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. I'll turn around. I'll turn around. I'm not scared at all. A scream I was unable to vocalize. Rah-wah. I turned around. At first I couldn't understand the meaning of it. What? What is this? It's just a person mouth might bite into an apple, slurping the juice and finally discover that it was an apple. My mind began to process the scene before my eyes. By eating the apple, Munch, munch, chew, chew. Slurp the juices, discover the apple. Meaning there was in front of me was... Rah, rah. Interesting. Alright, well, that was interesting. Oh, hey, I'll read all the tips. If I got achievement of reading all the tips, that means the next chapter is going to be the last one. I just got one more chapter. Oh man. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't save on chapter 10. Well, let's go ahead and go to chapter, second page. There we go. Oh, that means chapter 12 will be the last. Oh. But yeah, this won't be until next Monday though. It's probably going to be an intense one then, probably. Because if we're not getting any more tips, that means, yeah, it probably is going to be the last chapter. It's going to be probably intense. Oh, man. Okay, now I can't wait for Monday. But yeah, that's definitely going to be it for tonight. Because, oh, I went overboard way too much. It's already 3 o'clock. My time, at the very least. Oh, man. Oh, man, I'm going to be tired tomorrow, that's for sure. So tomorrow is going to be Persona. Might not actually stream too much of Persona tomorrow. Oh, so you're here. Oh, cool. You're also PST. Nice. But yeah, tomorrow for Persona it might actually just be a really short stream. Probably. Depending on when I can get the next save point in Persona. Hopefully not too much. Because I can't keep staying up too late. It's way too late. Like once or twice, sure, but not like every day. But yeah. That should be it for tonight. So tomorrow, Persona, and we'll continue Higurashi on Tuesday. Tuesday will be Higurashi, the final chapter. Oh man. Jeez, I can't believe I'm almost done with this game. It's been a wild ride, that's for sure. And hopefully the next chapter is not too long. Hopefully it's at least an hour or something. But I soothed us. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. I do appreciate you saying that. But, with your voice and reading, oh, thank you. I do appreciate it, thank you. But yeah, that should be it for tonight. So thank you for hanging out with me, D3. I do appreciate it. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. But yeah, for sure tomorrow, I'm definitely going to try to keep it under an hour. Or an hour and a half. Try to, at the very least. Depending on when I can get the next save point. So, we'll see. We'll see when it comes to tomorrow. Yeah, it was definitely a long one. I do appreciate that you enjoyed it. But yeah, dang, it's getting really heavy right now. Extremely heavy. Especially with Rena going a bit crazy at the end. It's like, she just keeps saying, I'm sorry. Standing in the rain. While still saying, I'm sorry. It's like, dang. Then Keiji also went crazy at the end. Even Oishi-san was kind of worried about him. Like, Keiji just stopped talking altogether, which is interesting. It's weird. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay mentally. Yeah, it's much more tense with the VN because it's much longer. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, okay, so I have to really end the stream now. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. So have a good night, and hope to see you again tomorrow. And anyone that's watching the VODs, thank you for watching the VODs. Anyone that is lurking, I do appreciate you as lurking as well. Oh wait, let's see. The anime, they had to keep it like 12 episodes per season, so it's much more in your face. Oh, I see. Yeah, it was compared to the anime. Yeah, this is much more longer. It's like. So yeah, I can see, yeah, the anime would have to definitely cut down, especially when they want to keep it to less than 20-ish minutes or 24 minutes. Yeah, 24 minutes per episode. But yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how far compared to the anime this first chapter is. Not really sure. You like the visual novels a little bit more, yeah, because of that, yeah. Same. I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than the anime, to be honest. But I might rewatch the anime just to see where the point is. I'm not sure what episode this is. Yeah, same. I definitely have to rewatch the anime, at least to this point. Like, once I complete this chapter, I definitely want to see and compare towards the anime. But I'm not really sure what episode it would be. I don't know, we'll see. You haven't seen it in like 15 years? Yeah, same. Or kind of. I don't know. I can't remember when the last time I seen it. But yeah, it's been a while. I did see the new one, so it's kind of familiar. But now I definitely gotta rewatch it. Gotta rewatch the original. But yeah, enough just chit chat. I really gotta go to bed. So yeah, I have to go to bed now. So thank you for being with me again, D3. I do appreciate it. So see you tomorrow. Oh, you think you missed the... yeah, the new one, yeah, it's easily being missed. They didn't really advertise the new one. But yeah, have a good night. But yeah, I might rewatch both of them. Or rewatch the new one and the old one, just to see the difference. It's like, I kind of want to see the difference now. But yeah, have a good night.
Thank you for joining us, amazing viewers. Your presence makes our magical journey special. Tune in next time at 11:30 p.m. PST for more enchanting adventures. Your support lights up our stream. See you then.